All right, we're back. It's the weekend, which means visual all time, I guess. I have been looking forward to more of the story here in Higurashi. Though I've also been looking forward to playing more Terra Invicta, and I sure as hell played the heck out of it on Thursday. Anyway, back to Higurashi. I've set the music back to the old music. We'll be using it until break. Then we'll go to the newest music again until, well, after break. Quick summary. We got to chapter 6. If I remember right, 4 was mostly about helping Rena with digging out Colonel Sanders, and I think it was the tag game. 5, I think, was the card game. And I can't remember much more of that. There was some general, hey, what happened the years ago? How many years ago was it? 5? When the dam was being constructed questions, but nothing much more. 6 was very impactful. We had the festival, which was very fun. Then at the end, we talked to... Oh, I can't remember his name. The woman with no name and the guy with the camera. Again, I can't remember the name of. From whom we were told more or less what happened. That each year on the festival day, somebody died since the... What's it called? Dam. That someone got murdered on the dam construction thingy. I'm bad at explaining things. And yes, there was a festival day. We got home safely and went, to sleep. And I expect next chapter is us going to school and midday finding out, somebody's dead. So let's go. We saw the new tips, which was the new newspapers, about the events that happened. Namely, this one was just nothing, while this one was radio log from what seems to be today, so somebody's probably dead. Let's go. As long as it's not our parents. Good morning! Nice job yesterday, Kei-chan. You didn't do so badly yourself, Mion. Yesterday was fun. Oh, that's right. Keiichi-kun. Thank you very much. For Mr. Bear. I'm glad you like it. Don't use it as a pincushion, though. I wouldn't. Slowly going to school. Still chatting happily, we entered the classroom, but the moment I stepped into the room, a splashing sound and a nasty sensation. There's a bucket full to the brim with water. And unfortunately, my foot stepped right into it. My now, how diligent of you to mop the floor this morning. Clomp, 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 whip, woof. Keiichi-san flicked my forehead. You should set a more brutal trap next time. Seeing that, Rena began to swoon as Mion looked on in disbelief. Everything was the same as always. Everybody was there and nothing felt out of place. The uncertainties I'd had in my back of my mind just had vanished. What is it, Keiichi-kun? Didn't get enough sleep, maybe? Maybe? I slept like a log, but if you want, I'll do a reenactment during class. You shouldn't do that. Mion alerted us that the teacher was coming, so everybody shuffled off to their seats. Oh damn! The feature got a sprite! Chie. That's a name I'll be able to remember, but also, suddenly I am suspicious. Good morning, everyone. So yesterday was the festival. Thank you all for the people who stayed until the very end to help cleaning. We were all slackers, and none of us actually helped clean up. Actually, I had a feeling that the only thing we did was run around the festival and cause a ruckus. Okay then, this time of the year, you might see some people here from out of town doing interviews about the festival for magazines. But it was the usual stuff, so I was going to tune it out, but then I noticed the different tone in her voice and started paying attention. You may be asked questions. Please don't say anything silly or something that could be taken in the wrong way. Do you understand? In unison, everyone replied, yes, ma'am. What she'd said was really vague, but I understood what she was trying to say. Oh, this is the 5th year. There are probably lots of third-rate reporters pouring in, hoping something regarding the curse had happened. It did nothing but perpetuate the village's bad reputation. It was saying, don't spout stupid shit you think is funny. And now I was one of the ones who needed to keep their mouth shut. I found it rather cute how I felt a sense of unity from such a trite thing. I do say so myself. As a principal, I was summoned to the club activities after school. Since everybody was still pretty tired from yesterday, we just spent the day relaxing. Yeah, that wasn't happening. Today, let's play a classic game of deduction. Uh-oh. How about this one? Oh, a game from overseas. Blue? Looks interesting. The instructions are in English, but the rules don't seem that hard. I won't lose you here. Oh, no doubling? I'm not too bad at this game. It seemed that Rena hadn't handled this kind of game very well. The rules are the person who can match the murder weapon and scene of the crime wins. There are 3 kinds of cards comprised of suspects, weapons, and locations. I could see that the names Mio and Enrica were written on the suspect cards. Oh, a card with my name on it as well. There are plenty of different weapons too, like knives, axes, and poison. Locations are pretty nice too, like the living room, the study, the courtyard. So basically, you take one of the cards each. These are the answer cards, so we shuffle the remaining cards and hand them out. We ask each other about the cards and figure out the right ones. Ah, I see, so the cards nobody has are the true repetitors. Then you raise your hand if you know the answer. The game ends and we check if the answer is correct. If you're right, then you get a point. If you're wrong, then you lose a point. As the game ends, even if no one gets it right, all cards are gathered up and redistributed. You learn as you go. You really have to use your brain. You'll get confused if you don't take notes. The rest of you can figure out by playing. So Mion, what's the penalty this time? Aaron directed their attention toward Mion. Let's see. We're all still a little tired from yesterday, so maybe we'll take it easy with a gopher penalty. We'll be asked to rush and buy stuff for everyone. It's just being asked to go buy stuff like drinks and candy, I guess. I feel like the penalty today is pretty simple. I wonder, is it really? Is Keiichi-san thinking what I'm thinking? Yeah. You don't know what you'll have to go buy. I bet Mion would send out poor losers to buy stuff like hemorrhoid cream or happy family planning manual or other crazy stuff. The cards were slightly shuffled and passed out to each player. The real perpetrator, the correct weapon, and the scene of the murder have been taken out. So that means all the cards I have in my hand are incorrect, innocent cards. Then I'll go first, since I'm the club president, I guess. Well, then, Mion Knife Study. You pick one suspect, weapon, and murder scene, and ask the other players. If you have any of those cards, then you must say, I have one. However, you don't need to say which one you have. Yeah, I got it. Me too. I have one. Oh my, all of them are here. People answered when they asked if they had Mion Knife and Study. That means Mion Knife and Study are all in the clear. Got to jot that down. Then Rena, Axe, and Launch. Is this gonna be foreshadowing, isn't it? Mion's gonna kill someone with a knife. Rena's gonna kill someone with an axe. Only 2 people said they had one. So one person could have 2 cards, or one of them might be right. That means out of Rena, Axe, and Launch, one of them is correct and is part of the crime? No, wait. Even if they say they have one, they don't have to say how many. Also that either Satoko or Rika-chan has 2 of the cards. Well, Kei-chan is next. Go ahead. Wait, just a little. I'm still sorting things out. The game has me thinking more than I thought. Oh man, this feels like it's going to be tough. Oh, come on, nothing more? Alright, now I have the criminal. No more foreshadowing? Damn. What, already? Here I am spinning around in circles and Mion just raises her hand. The murderer is Rika-chan. In the infirmary with the poison. Well, Mion drew the cards from the box and checked to see if the deduction was right. I was right. All I needed was one more hand. I couldn't tell whether it was poison or a pistol. I'd never use a pistol. I like killing them slowly with poison. Alright, Rika murders someone with poison. Got it. Rika-chan said such a hugely terrifying thing, which has a sweet little face. Everyone was making a commotion about how they almost had it. Rena and I were left out in the cold though. How did you do, Keiichi-kun? I couldn't get it at all. Don't worry. I had no idea either. How can you both be so unsure? You both end up in last place together at this rate. That's even worse! Going off, buying something together as a couple. What if we end up having to buy the Happy Family Planning Manual? I learned from Keiichi's expression that he's not very good at this game. What? That's not true. I'll show you the true power of Sherlock Maebara during the next round. My, that sounds just wonderful. I shall give you quite the thrashing. After that, I managed to somehow grasp the trick behind the game. It was still always a step or 2 behind. So that Mion was somehow gleaning information from the others, how the others were asking the questions. That little experience was just too much. The only way I could stage a comeback was if I became ruthless. Just how the simple concept of deduction switched over to the thought process need to win. The important thing isn't to find out the criminal, it's to win at the game. Eureka! Oh, sorry. Need to go to the bathroom. Take your time and squeeze out a nice one. Me-chan, that's gross. Had them hold off the game and head down the hall. The air was crisp. It showed just how stagnant the air the classroom was from our body heat. On the school grounds, some of the other classmates were still playing around. After spending some time cooling my head, Rena had made her way over towards me. Okay, Chikun, did you call for me? Yeah, I did. As I got up from my seat, I walked to Atrina. I'm glad it worked out. I don't want to waste much time, so I'll get straight to the point. Rena, what's your record at this game we're playing today? She was taken back. For a moment, she hesitantly opened her mouth. Well, all losses. Why do you ask? I wonder. I could tell from how apprehensive she was playing. The way things are going, I will as well. I can't figure out how to pull off a last-minute comeback on this one. So, I guess both of us will be taking the penalty? Hey, don't accept defeat already. How about we win this? Both of us. But how can we... I brought my lips to Rena's ear. Whisper, whisper, whisper. Huh? Is that allowed? Did you forget, Rena? The second rule of our society. Do everything in your power to obtain victory. Yeah, I'll try my best. Our plan of attack was a quite rudimentary one. At the beginning of the game, everyone would be focused on their own hands for a while, taking notes and whatnot. If our seats were right next to each other, we'd reveal our hands to each other. We did it under the desk, then nobody would know. We begin the game with twice as much information as everyone else. Having this much information would mean we'd need to investigate less. With this sort of plan of attack, we start off with a big lead over the other guys. Yeah, with this we can probably win. Both smirked at each other. If I was the shady businessman, then Rena was the corrupt senator. Hehe, pleasure doing business with you. Then let's hurry back. We'll work as a duo to surprise everyone. Hey now, there's no point if we go back together. It would be flat out telling them that we made a little arrangement. Oh, sorry then, what should we do? Go back ahead of me, Rena. I'll take my time coming back after washing my face or something. Okay, got it. Rena turned around and headed back to the classroom. I guess I should wait a bit longer before going back. If I went too soon, it wouldn't seem like I went to the bathroom. If me or one of them suspected something, then there could be problems. Well, they'll figure it out sooner or later, because both Brenna and I would start winning over and over again. Brenna and I will have earned enough points to avoid being losers by the time Mir realizes what was happening. Excellent. And now he's going to overhear something. Not bad at all. Oh, Mabara-kun. May I have a moment? Huh? It's the teacher. My things are just getting good. What is it? I'm a bit... You have a guest. Please make your way to the entrance. A guest? It's not like I own a hotel. They have been waiting. Please hurry. And before my big match was pretty bad timing to have a visitor, but the very fact that someone was here to see me was strange enough to pique my interest. I didn't want to waste my time, so I decided to take care of it quickly. Is it camera guy? Again, I'm forgetting his name. Is there a... No, for Umineko, there's like a thing that shows all the characters. Is there something like that for this game? Doesn't seem to be. Okay, how do I close this again? Sure, that works. Log probably doesn't have it. No. Oh well. No, it isn't. Another new character. Looks almost policeman-like. Waiting there, looking uncomfortably warm, was a middle-aged man, his tie sloppily loosened and his jacket tucked under his arm. Are you Maebara-san? Keiichi Maebara? There's no question that he wasn't a resident of Hinamizawa, and that this was, without a doubt, the first time he had met me. Ever since I met Tomitake-san, it seemed I was fated to meet middle-aged men. Okay, Tomitake is the cameraman guy. Well, we have another bot. Time to murder. Murder successful. That's right. Who might you be? I have the AC on in my car. Let's talk there. A bit hot here, don't you think? Don't go in a stranger's car! The man, completely ignoring my question, pointed towards his car parked near the gate and began walking. Gotta be kidding me. I had no intention of going along with some geese I didn't even know. He was asking me to get in his car with him? I'm not going to bite. Come on now. He opened the back door of his car and called me over. Not like the old man, but I wanted to know what this was about. Even while knowing the conversation that started out like this have never led to anything good. The inside of his car was pretty cool. Cars with air conditioners are supposed to be a luxury. My dad didn't have one in his car, at least. Please let me know if it's too cold for you, okay? I have a habit of cranking it up all the way. So what business do you have with me? Out of spite, I decided to ignore his remark in the same way he did to me and start my own line of questioning. He pulled out the notepad from his pocket, took a picture that was stuck between the pages. On it was the face of a pretty goofy-looking guy. You know everything right at this individual, then please tell me. The heck is this? Doubt even his close friends would be able to recognize who he was from this expressionist picture that looked like it was taken from a DMV. There are scribbles on his shirt done in permanent marker. Starting with yours, Maibara, and quite a few of your classmates signed as well. Huh? This is Tomitake-san? There's no hint of his unusual, unreliable, and easygoing personality in this photo. If it was as expressionless, half-asleep face, then do you know this woman? Even before seeing it, I had a good idea of who it was. I don't remember her name. She's some lady who was with Tomitake-san last night. Don't know what her name was, but did know she was a resident of Hinamizawa. When was the last time you saw these two? The night of the Watanashi, we spoke. They seem pretty close, I guess. Did anything bother you about them? Anything is fine. Go ahead and say it. Being asked for every little detail is very troubling, honestly. I had a pretty good idea who this guy was by now. Did something happen to them? There was no response to my inquiry. Thus he replied to silence in kind. I was pretty sure and almost certain that this guy was a cop. Then why? Why was he asking about Tomitake-san? Did something happen to him? More importantly, why me? Should there have been plenty of other people who knew more about him than I did? The roar of the car air conditioner felt unbearably cold. Loud. For a long pause, he finally spoke again. You moved here just recently, isn't that right, Maibara-san? Are you aware, I wonder, about the stories of Oyoshira-sama? My heart began to race. Pretty terrible at hiding things. Probably showed on my face. Not at all? If you don't, then that's fine. Well, I have heard of it. Tomitake-san told me, actually. How much do you know about it? Dismembering killings. The accidental death. The death by illness followed by suicide. The lady who had beaten to death. Incidents that always happened the day of Watanagashi, ending in suspicious deaths. I didn't think Tomitake-san would have kept anything from me. I think that was everything. Or rather, I don't want to think there was anything more than that. Maibara-san, do you believe in the curse? Feel free to speak openly about it. I don't believe in it. My answer was instant. It wasn't so much that I didn't believe in it, I was on the verge of believing. I wanted to clear away my own doubts. It was the most prominent feeling. Really? Now that's great. Guess you really are one of those city-raised boys. So what if I don't believe? I have friends waiting, so could you get to the point? The man in this picture is dead. Yep. Alright. It has started. My mind went blank. Huh? What happened to Tomitake-san? It would seem that he died last night. That was the night of Watanagashi. Do you understand the implications behind that, Maibara-san? Implications? Not any at all. Not any for the cause of the death or the reason behind it. The real problem is that he died on the day of Watanagashi. meaning this year the curse of Oyashiro had once again. The death of
富武家
Jiro
お亡くなりになられた
Tomitake
こ
is
と
still
はまだ
confidential.
どうしてか
You can
は
understand why that
なん
is,
とな
right?
くお分かりにな
I
りま
didn't
す
want to
よ
understand why.
教えてください。
Please tell me.
一体
Tell me what
何
happened.
があったんですか？
得意なん
It
で
was rather
す
peculiar.
ひなみ沢の
It might be a
風
little
ち
too
ょっと
graphic for
周囲
someone
が
born and raised in Hinamizawa. There's a roundabout way of saying it caused me to doubt whether or not I wanted to hear the rest. Would only regret forcing myself to learn of something I shouldn't. Or at least that's how I figured I would feel if I listened to the rest.
第一発見は
One of our patrol
祭り
cars
の警
discovered the
備を
body
終
on
え
the
て帰
way
宅中
back
の
from
うち
security
のワ
detail
ゴン
at the
です
festival.
時刻は
It
24
was
時
late,
50
about 5 till
場
morning,
所は
midnight.
と
The location was,
町
you know
出
where the
る道路
road
が
into
ちょう
town
ど舗
becomes
装道
paved,
路に
right?
変わるところを坂を下りきった
Down
後に
past the slope on the
あそこ
shoulder
が路
around
肩
there.
でした
There were a few streetlights on the road. Its pitch black darkness was only broken by the lights of passing cars and the moon. It was a stroke of luck that Tomitake-san was spotted collapsed on the shoulder of the road. Tomitake-san was face down, covered in blood. Blood and muck covered the asphalt.
みんな初め
We
は
thought it was
ひき
a
逃げ
hit
され
and
た
run
も
at
のだと
first.
思ってですが
But then the
意識を
officer
確かめ
checked
る
to
ために
see
近
if
づ
he
いた
was
警
still
官は
alive.
つ
Quickly
いに
noticed something
異常に気
abnormal.
づきました喉がね
His throat had been
引
ripped
き裂かれ
open.
ていた
ナイフ
From a knife or something?
いい
No.
爪でした
Nails. Ugh. Nails. As in fingernails? I mean, his neck was clawed through.
検視の結
From
果
the coroner's
それ
report,
も
it was
自
revealed
分
that
の
it was
爪で
his own nails.
判明しました
Ooh.
え
What does that
どういう
mean?
ことですか？
Basically, it means it wasn't a murder, it was suicide. So in this case, assuming, you know, actual curse, because Tomitake-san seemed pretty damn normal yesterday, and very much not willing to commit suicide. It seems like Oyashiro, the curse, whatever, punished him for talking to, well, Keiichi-kun for about all the previous stuff in the village, kind of silencing him by causing him to rip out his own throat. Interesting. I can not imagine a lot of reason for how there was a murder when there's such a blatant suicide here. Well, I guess they could just be wrong. Maybe it wasn't him who tear his own throat out? Tomitake-san, whatever was going through his mind, tore open his own throat as hard as he could with his own nails. Tore through the skin until he started to bleed. And even then, Tomitake-san didn't stop. He continued clawing. With enough intensity that it could have peeled off his nails, still clawing. Still clawing. Then as his nails reached those vital arteries that you should never damage, he continued clawing. Blood. Blood splattered on the ground around him as he bled. While gasping for breath, he collapsed, his body spasmed, and he died in agony.
薬物を
We
疑い
thought
ました
drugs were
が
to blame,
そう
but
いう
nothing
作
of
業
that
も
nature was
検出
detected.
できませんでした
Okay, that would make sense. I was gonna say maybe he was drugged and was, I don't know, crazy because of it, hallucinating or whatever, but apparently no drugs. But it was suicide. Never heard of such a thing. This unreal way of dying. If this wasn't a mysterious death, then what was it? And what was? The way he died. It was 5 years. His death most resembled that of a curse. As if to show both myself and Tomitake-san, who proclaimed there was no such thing as a curse, that they were wrong. That we were wrong.
他にもいくつか
There were a
不
few
審
more
な点
suspicious
が
details.
体内分
Of his body chemistry, perspiration,
脱毛等から
epilation, and so on, proving that he was in a state of hysteria before his death. Chased by someone or something? That was a given. It's hard to believe someone could be in such a sound state of mind while clawing out their throat. Alright, if he was in a state of hysteria, maybe it was like a hostage situation. Like somebody had the other woman he was with or someone else he cared for, like, you're going to commit suicide or they're dead. That could still be the case without being a curse. Wounds on his hand matched a discarded piece of lumber found nearby. There are traces of where he struck trees and guardrails with it. Mitake-san's blood was found all over the place, meaning that while tearing his own throat, he was swinging around a piece of lumber. There were external injuries which were not self-inflicted, discovered on Tomitake-san. There is a high probability Tomitake-san was assaulted. That I could see. External injuries suggest that there may be multiple suspects. To summarize, Tomitake-san was surrounded and attacked, but when during the night rode in state of panic, after being cornered, he picked up a piece of lumber and tried to fight back. Somewhere in there, he began madly tearing at his own throat, clawing at it. Then he died. The presumed time of death was between 9 p.m. and 11 p.m., meaning it occurred right after you finished talking to Tomitake at the festival. Everyone signed Tomitake-san's shirt, then parted ways. Right after that, oh yeah, he should have been with the woman. What about her? She's missing. She hasn't shown up to work and she hasn't returned home either. There is a very high probability that she was involved in the accident. For a while, I could only gaze off into space. I never would have thought that something unfortunate happening to somebody close to me could affect me this deeply. The time I had spent with Tomitake-san was short, but we went to the same festival, spent time together and took part in the same competition. He was one of us. We have been continuing to investigate on various fronts. When it comes to Shiro-sama's curse, the villagers aren't very cooperative. That I knew well. I would have been none the wiser if not for Tomitake-san, the outsider telling me. So that's why you came to me? Because I'm not originally from Hinamizawa? I should have been angry that was the reason he wanted to hear from what had happened for me. If things go the way they had been, then the conclusion would be that Jiro Tomitake died from Shiro-sama's curse. He turned away from me and gazed off into the distance. The night of the Higurashi, during the second ritual, he cautiously snapped off photos angering Shiro-sama. That's how it's going to turn out. There's no way Shiro-sama would inflict divine punishment on Tomitake-san. Tomitake-san had been killed by humans, and a cowardly group, no less. There's no way I'm gonna let this end up being the fault of some curse. I think so as well. There's no such thing as divine punishment of all curses. The tense mood was cut with this man's hearty laugh. That's how this must be, my brother-san. Cooperation from the individuals in Hinamizawa who don't believe in curse is indispensable. Understand? Tomitake-san or I believed in curses. But with the way things are going, we just end up with Tomitake-san's death marking the 5th year, which would mean that Hinamizawa had rejected Tomitake-san. That was something I couldn't allow. Tomitake-san was one of us. He didn't live in Hinamizawa, but he came every single year. In a sense, he was more of a resident than I was. There was no way that Tomitake-san could have been cursed by Shiro-sama. But there is nothing I can do to help. I have no idea what happened that night, either. No. If you see or hear anything that draws your attention, then that is enough. If I see or hear, I was talking in the future sense. Things or people or rumors. Anything is fine. I don't care if they're unfounded. This is my number. If I'm not there, then just leave a message with whoever picks up. He handed me a piece of paper with his number on it, but I hesitated for a second. If I took it, whatever I wanted or not, I've been mired knee-deep in this matter.
富武さんの無念
Please
を
help
晴
me
らす
solve
ためにどうか
these questions surrounding
協
Tomitake-san's
力をお
unfortunate
願いし
death.
たいのです
That's right. Why was I hesitating? I need to find the murderer who killed my friend. I snatched up the piece of paper as a satisfied grin spread across his face.
今日ここで
Everything we
した
spoke
話
today,
は全
spoke
て
of today
内
is a
緒です
secret.
絶
Please
対
keep this
に
confidential.
他言無用でお願い
わかりました
Understood.
お友達
From
に
your
も
friends
内
as
緒
well.
です特に
Especially from
園
Sonozaka-san
崎
and
さんや堀部さん
Furada-san.
には
Please do not
絶
inform
対
them.
に知られないようにしてください
Sonozaka is Mion. Furade is... I don't remember. Rika? I think it's Rika.
園崎って
Nozaki, you mean Mion?
ミオンのことかなんでだよ
Why? Are you saying that it have
事
something
件
to
に
do
関
with
係
the
あるってい
incident?
うのかよ
My friend's name brought up so abruptly, being told to keep it a secret from them, I became rather angry.
うーん
This is what they call investigative privilege, I suppose.
煙に巻くなよ
Don't play games with me.
ミオンは
Mion is a close friend of
俺の大
mine.
切な仲間だぞ
Snap at him, but he didn't seem to especially
言っ
offended.
てもいい
I
です
wouldn't mind
が
telling you, but it may upset you.
言えよ
Say it. He hesitated a little. Turning his gaze to the outside of the car, he began to speak without thinking for a bit.
南沢で起こ
There's
っ
a
た
possibility of
一連の事件
the string of incidents happening here in Himizawa as a result of a village conspiracy.
そんなこと
There's no way that
あ
could
る
be
わ
right.
けないじゃないか
Give me a break. First of all, there any proof of that?
証拠はありません
No evidence.
しかも
Also, each of the cases were resolved and none of the perpetrators had any direct connection to the village.
さあどう
And how do you come with that conclusion?
毎年
Every year, the
渡辺
enemies of the village die on the day of the Watanagashi.
それだけで
Don't you think that's enough reason to
十分
suspect
疑えると思いません
something?
か
Only the residents of Himizawa felt that the day of Wataganashi was sacred. Basically, because the incidents happened on that day, it was somehow related to Hinamizawa.
初めはダム
First, it was the dam construction
そして
foreman.
次に
Then it was a villager that
ダム
supported it.
裏の旧敵
Those
は
villagers who
次々
held a
に
grudge
開始しました
against die one after another from mysterious
過程は
causes.
ともか
That means
結果はそう
the means are different, but the end results are the same. Unfounded, unreasonable, suspicious. But it couldn't just be shrugged
じゃ
off.
あ
The victims after that.
次に死ん
What
だ
about
神主や
Shinto priest and his
その
wife's
次に
death?
別に村の敵だったわけじゃ
Great
ない
enemies of the village.
神主は
The villagers
ダ
had
ム騒動当時
accepted leadership
リーダーシッ
from
プ
the
を
Shinto
期待
priest
さ
at
れ
the
ながら
time of the dam
積極
dispute.
的な
He wasn't
働き
proactive.
がなかったため
There was a faction of the villagers who harbored ill will towards him as a result.
反感があったにしたって
Ill will? It's not like he died
害
anything,
を与えたわけじゃ
did
ない
anything
だろ
bad to the village. What about the housewife after
留
that?
置した男の
Did she die just because she was the wife of the brother of a supporter? That's a terrible reason to kill
そし
someone.
て富武さんに
What about
至っては
Tomitake-san?
ダム工事とは関係
He's not
すら
affiliated with the
ないじゃ
dam
ないか
project at all.
ただよそ者
Was he
だ
just
って
killed
だけ
because he
の
was
理
an
由だぞ
outsider? In the beginning, it fell on those related to the dam project, but as the years went on, the enemy threshold of the victims had become much lower.
それがね
Well, that's the scary part.
徐々に希薄
The
になっ
bar
ていく
keeps getting lower.
何がだよ
What's scary about that?
つまり
Means it's not just enemies of the village anymore. Just being an outsider could be a reason enough. Then you saying the next year's victim will be picked out of the village outsider pool?
あるいは
It might be a
越し
person
て
that
きたば
just
かりの
moved
人か
here.
もしれ
それって
What do you mean by words? In Himizawa, the ones who would be considered the most outside would be my family. I was proof enough of that, wasn't I? I still couldn't really remember the names of the people I passed by. Then the next victim is my family. Is he saying it was going to be me?
でも
But what does that have to do with Mion?
詳しくは
I
申し
can't go
上げ
into
られま
details,
せん
but the
が
Sonozaki family led the
そ
damn
の時さんに
protests.
それも
Quite fervently so.
例えば
There's also the
その時
true of
ミ
Mino
オンさんについても
Sonozaki herself.
抵抗運動時
She had quite a few misdemeanors
公務執行
and
妨害
obstruction of public work offenses on her record because of the protests. I knew Mion had fought. This was the first I heard of her family leading the protests, though. Then, well, what did it all mean?
ミオンの一家が
Are you saying that Mion's family is
一
involved
連
in
の
the
事
string
件
of
に関係
incidents?
しているとでも
そうまで
I wouldn't go that far.
もしもそう
I'm
だ
just saying
ったら
that if it was a conspiracy, then they have the highest probability of being
それ
behind
だ
it.
けのことなん
Not
で
a very clear explanation. Felt like he'd magnificently avoided the details I really wanted to
す
know.
誰が一体
We
ど
don't
れだけ関わ
know
っている
who
の
or
か
how involved anyone in this. We don't know who or how involved anyone is right
だ
now.
からこそ
And this is exactly why I don't want you to say anything about anything to the villagers. Instead of answering, I gave a very bitter expression. It seemed that he understood it very well. Then think of it like this. I don't want to worry the villagers who blindly believe it's the curse. How about that? What do you mean, how about that? How should I know? But the reasoning behind wanting me not to carelessly open my mouth, but it wasn't so hard to comprehend. The perpetrator was here. It had nothing to do with a curse. He was definitely going to be caught by the police and made to pay for his crimes. And none of the villagers should have anything to do with that process. May cause those sensitive about the curse to just worry needlessly. Just like everyone kept it from me, so I wouldn't worry about it. It is now my turn to keep it from them so they didn't have to worry. Just talking to myself. Unlike me, everyone else had been worrying about the mysterious incident yearly, and the incident this time probably means a lot more to them. I didn't want to burden them anymore. In the end, everything went as the man had wanted. As insipid as it was, it couldn't be helped. Understand. I'll keep it to myself. Is that fine, Mr. Oishi from the Okayama police station? You can call me Kura-chan if you want. Oh no, Oishi's fine. Oh, I forgot to check his sprite and the teacher's sprite. The way he said it was unpleasant, yet retained hints of politeness. He was the spitting image of a vulgar police officer. I've never seen one this bulky before in the cop shows I watch. I've taken up too much time. Your friends are waiting, aren't they? I should probably let you get back to them. The door opened with a click, and in streamed the oppressive heat. It was blistering outside of the car. Was really this hot off on a day? It was almost cruel heat, as opposed to the mechanical coolness inside the car. It was as if the land of Hinamizawa itself suddenly hated me. I felt a little sad as that thought crossed my mind. I didn't mean to suspect your friends. Okay, let's check this. Okay, this one's fairly fine. His belly is very pronounced, but I like it. Like all the sprites for this guy. Please don't misunderstand. I refrained from telling him that it was too late to say something like self-sharing. It's fine if you don't see or hear anything, Mibara-san. It would help to prove that the village is not involved at all. I'll contact you if I hear anything or see anything. I'm no detective. Please don't expect too much from me. I won't. You don't have to become a detective. Just go on living as you have up until now. Just let me know if you notice anything. I hastily made my way back to the school building after giving him a quick bow. See you later, farewell, Mibara-kun. I returned to the school building without looking back. I don't know how much time has passed. Did feel bad for keeping them waiting, but right now there was a lot on my mind. Take-san's death was hard enough as it is, but I think there was a possibility of a village conspiracy. Worse still, there was also a chance that Mion was involved. Nonsense. Impossible. Not Mion, Rena, Satoko, or Rika-chan. It was a group that attacked Take-san? Who could the perpetrators be? Could it be they were hiding here somewhere in Hinamizawa? I didn't know. All I could say for certain was that I knew that Mion couldn't be the perpetrator. It's me-chan! The perpetrator! Huh? I started to hear Rena's voice. With a rope in the lounge. Nope. No! Rena clutched her head while flailing about. Looks like you just self-destructing over here. Wow. Ah! Keiichi-san, you're quite late. As you well know, I'm seething with anger. Sorry about that. Was called into the staff room, you see. You were reprimanded for bad behavior? That's a shame. Well, it's been pretty heated over here. Since it's getting pretty late, let's make the next game, the last one.
俺の今の持ち
Remember,
方っ
right?
て
I had 0 points.
いい確定じゃ
Isn't
ない
it
のか
pretty
よ
much decided that I'm going to be finishing last place? Don't worry, Keiichi-kun. I'm at -1 points. The heck? The score is lower than mine, and I wasn't even playing. This is the final match to decide if the penalty is going to be carried out by Rena alone or by both Keiichi-chan and Rena.
冗談じゃねえぞ
Yeah, right.
罰ゲームはレナ
Just let
一人でやって
Rena
く
do
れ
the penalty by herself. We made a promise, Keiichi-kun, that we both win. With all this time, you know? Ah, I'm sorry about that. I followed my initial plan of showing showing Rena my cards, but I didn't say who was the criminal, just waited for her to call. I got it! The murder is me! With the poison at the entrance. Is it? My Marina, quite a quick answer. Another stab in the dark? Oh? That's correct. Oh ho ho ho! Then it's decided that Keiichi-san shall take part in the penalty as well. Hooray! Keiichi-kun, let's both do our best. Yeah, let's do our best. It's my fault, so I have no choice. Then, that's game. It's me, Mion Sasaki, ranked first. With that last are Keiichi-kun, Keiichi Maebara, and Rena Ryugu. Everyone applauded and the game ended. The problem now was the penalty. Now then, I rank first, so I'll decide what she'll be buying for the golfer penalty. What will she make us buy? I wonder.
薬局は禁じ手にしような
Let's blacklist the drugstore. That was your aim, wasn't it? Huh? I didn't have any business at the drugstore. The old man's already got a list prepared for you on this piece of paper. Whoa, that's a lot of written here. A lot? Damn it. What is she making us buy?
豆腐2丁
2 blocks of
シャ
tofu,
ンプーとリンス
shampoo and conditioner,
人参に油
apple vinegar and fried tofu.
なんだこりゃ
The heck is this? Ah, this is more like a shopping list than a penalty. Her parents made her go shop and she's making us go. Me was certain she was going to win. Rule 7 of our society. You cannot refuse any penalty. Here's some money. The shampoo I usually get is Root Fable. Thanks.
これ
This is just your grocery list.
お使いだろ
Rose said that I would win. If I won next time, I'd make her go buy hemorrhoid cream. Scene end? Scene end. Oh! There are 4 more perpetrators and search notice. Unit tips. There are 4 more perpetrators. 4, huh? Like our group? Hypovolemic shock induced by clawing at his own throat. Tissue is packed on the nails, not someone else's nails. It's undoubtedly by the individual's own nails. The shape of the scars also match. Yeah, I knew the immediate cause of death was suicide. I get it, you're saying the cause of death is unnatural, right? It's not quite on the same level as when you back itches and you scratch a little too hard and draw blood after all. Some of Take-san's fingernails have been pulled out. Fingernails actually rip off surprisingly easily, but it really hurts. Under normal circumstances, the pain would prevent you from such a completely pulling them out. Also, there was a lot of bruises on Take's body. It's clear from the shape of them that he had been assaulted by someone or a group of people. I know, I still can't imagine that he, rolled down a hill or something, as weird as that might sound. If we're going with a accident rather than murder. But it's very hard to imagine what accident caused him to rip his throat out. According to the toxicology report, the deceased was in an extreme sense of hysteria right before death. Then he fought back and clawed his own throat because of how hysterical he had become. The guys attacking him certainly would have been surprised by that. It's possible that in such an abnormal environment, a person could perform acts that a sane individual couldn't possibly imagine. Of course, those are very rare cases.
実はな、
Actually,
大
Oishi-kun, the
石
wood
仏
plank
好
that
き
the
に
deceased
したら
used
し
as a
い
weapon,
砂粒とか
they only
ガー
found
ドレールの
sand
塗装練
and
とか
the
そ
paint
んな
from
の
the
使ってん
guardrail
か
on
っ
it.
腰の服の
What
繊維
about
と
cloth
か
fibers or skin?
てんかった
Nothing. The
仏
deceased
は
didn't strike the
犯人
assailants.
あるいは
Or
殴
it
った
could be
角
that
材を
they
星
took
が
the,
持ち去った
took
の
the
かも
plank
し
he
れん
was
の
fighting
な
back
ら
with.
わざわ
In
ざ
that
角材
case,
なんて置いて
they
きま
wouldn't
せん
have
よ
gone out of their
全
way
部
to
持ってきち
replace
ゃ
it
い
with
ます
another. They take them all. Hahaha, that's true.
それも
富武氏は結構
The
性
tiger's
格も
pretty
いいし肌も
built
焼
and
けてる
tanned.
し
Was quite athletic. That's
そう
right.
よく
He
運動
was
しとる
pretty
ようだ
active.
の
Can't imagine what kind of sports he did when he was alive, but I think his physical strength would be on the higher side, meaning he would be difficult to overpower in a brawl. If that man with such a physique sensed he was in danger and swung the plank around frantically, it's just unthinkable that it wouldn't even nick the perpetrator. And his opponent was unarmed. This guy had a wooden plank, so you'd think he'd them at least once.
こんだけ体格のい
For
い
someone
相
to
手を
take down
取り囲
someone
んで
of his
弟を
physique,
叱る
wonder how many people it would take.
アホ
Yeah,
それ
dimwit,
は大
if
石の
anything,
方
that's
が
just
得意だ
your
ろ
specialty.
アクタル時
Have
代
you
を
forgotten
思
your
い出さ
bad
んか
cop days? If I was to take down this guy, how many would I need? But when a group wants to take down a big prey, it's fundamentally to attack with numbers. Guess about 4. If even if there was a gap in the strength, they'd
だ
manage.
とすると
Then there were
結構
quite a
犯
few
人は大人数
perpetrators.
だの祭りで泥酔した4人以上のグループが
So
怪
any
しいと
drunk
な
and disorderly groups of more than 4 are suspicious? Group of 4 more. Just if they had that many, they couldn't have hidden the body in a less obvious location, or did he somehow break away from the fatal predicament? That there would be no reason to commit suicide. Moreover, I still can't comprehend the irregular way he died. It's full of
こっちも
mysteries.
そこは重
That's
視し
under
とる
serious
徹底的に
consideration on
調
my
べる
end,
つもり
too.
だが
I examined it as
あま
thoroughly
り
as
期待でき
possible.
んな
Don't get your hopes up.
何しろ
After all,
過去
we
に
never
こんな例
encountered a
は
death
な
like
いん
this
だ
before.
期待はしません
I'm
よ
not hoping for
で
much,
すが
but I am
結
looking
果を
forward to
楽しみ
results.
おいさん
Oishi-san,
呼んでるっす
the chief is calling you.
すみません
Thanks, see you around.
おお
Yeah,
い
best
いお
wishes.
年をの
Interesting. And search notice. Jiro Tomitake, deceased. Resident in cheap hotel in Jishibone City. Resided. Registered under the name of Jiro Tomitake. Pen name. Travels via folding bike. No license. The bicycle was found 300 meters away, abandoned at the side of a forest path. Present on the day of the festival. Accompanied by a missing Mio Takano. Okay, her name is Mio. Was seen around 9 p.m. by police. Location afterwards unknown. Held residence in Hinamizawa for 1 week each season for the last 5 to 6 years. Freelance photographer specializing in wild birds. Check with magazine companies. Nothing suspicious in the film located among the articles of the deceased. Wallet was among the articles of the deceased. Mere act of violence? From the contents of the wallet, he spent most of his time around Tokyo and Chiba. Along the Soba National Railway, no individual matching name Jiro Tomitake is in the residency records of any Tokyo wards. Compare thief to dental records. Sent to Metro Police. Attach a photo. Sent to Metro Police. Contact magazines regarding Jiro Tomitake. Mio Takano, missing. Nurse at Erie Clinic. Became close to Tomitake through her passion for wild bird photography. Resides in Okayama X District XXX. Single. Witness accompanying Tomitake on the festival grounds. Currently missing. Abducted or maybe suspect. Unimportant person of interest. Had no motive to kill the deceased. Squabble from jealousy. Need to thoroughly investigate the relationship. Place of work, etc. Need to get information from the police on the scene again. I want some grief puffs. Or jumbo ones. Oishi. Me too. Me too. That was a long chapter. Also, very interesting. Ha! The music. After that, really? Sleepy. Whoa, that was a really big yawn, Keiichi-kun. I'm usually awake once it's time to eat, but doesn't look like I can do anything to it today. Was watching TV until late last night, so I'm tired right now. Was one of those raunchy TV shows you love so much on last night? How extremely wow! Wait a second, don't imagine things and jump to conclusions. It is perfectly normal for boys, nothing to be ashamed of about. Rika not patting my head only made me feel worse. Would you just let me pass out this lunch break? No, seriously. My! You think I would just sit there and allow that? I'll get really angry if you disturb me. Really angry. Yeah. Hey, I yawned an hour as well. Neat. This is just dreadful. Just so sleepy. I slumped my head on the desk and drifted off into an afternoon nap. It seemed that Satoko had responded, but I pretended not to hear. Cut it out, Satoko-chan. Keiichi-kun fell asleep. His sleeping face, so cute. You can take him home later. Let him be for now. Let's move over here, there. I'd be rude to Keiichi if we bother him now. Rika-chan really is a good girl. Let's not wake him up even if the teacher comes back. I take that back. The excuse that I didn't sleep much last night because I was watching TV was a lie. I was in bed the usual time, but because of the conversation with Oishi-san that afternoon, I didn't get much sleep. Spending the day like this, it's almost as if the incident with Tomitake-san didn't happen at all. It made me think, was Oishi-san just trying to deceive me? But it was probably the truth. One thing was certain, I couldn't speak to anyone about it. He wanted my assistance, but I really didn't know anything about it. If I knew I was going to be of help, I probably wouldn't have listened in the first place. If it ended up with me again, regretting learning something I didn't need to know. If I had never learned about it, would without a doubt be goofing off with the rest of them right now. I couldn't help but resent Oishi-san for now. Huh? When was that? I heard he wasn't there the next day. It appears he vanished the night of the Watanagashi. Emil whispered to keep the others from listening, but I could hear it clearly. On the other hand, Rena's voice was even harder to pick up. I could still tell that she was quite upset. Could be. Are they talking about Tomitake-san? Only Itake? Not sure. That's all I know. I would have to feign ignorance about the topic because I need to keep it a secret. Rather than waking up and being forced to lie to join the conversation, it was much easier to just sit here and pretend I was asleep to listen in on their discussion. Wait, why did I have to pretend to be asleep while eavesdropping on my friend's conversation? The guilt stung. So, and me? There are others, right? Two. But I don't know if it's from the curse or if it was Onikakushi. An Onikakushi. Onikakushi? To be hidden away by a demon? What a mysterious phrase. I did, however, get the feeling it meant nothing good. There was another, right? Right? If it's Oshiro-sama, yeah. But this year, at all, Grandma and the mayor had talked about it. Seems they talked to the police about it beforehand. They said they'd take care of whatever happened this year without causing a commotion. Then, without us knowing it, someone had killed them, you mean? Maybe. Next could me, I wonder. Don't worry. We got home safely. But is not allowed, right? That was a long time ago. Let's stop talking about this. Amidst the uncomfortable mood, both of them went silent. And the entirety of the conversation was still a bit unclear, but a few parts caught my attention. First of all, the term Onikakushi. To be demoned away. By the context it was used in, I would guess it's similar to being spirited away. I suspect that was what it meant because Tomitaken, the woman, really bugged me that I didn't know her name. It's Mio, apparently. Vanished after the Watanagashi. The next thing that stuck out was when Rena said, "There's another one, right?" Mion also said, "If it is Oya Shiro-sama, yeah, it's belonged to something. If it is Oya Shiro-sama's curse, then there had to be 2 victims. Is that what she meant?" Come to think of it, remember Mion saying at the beginning that they didn't know if it was from the curse or if it was a case of Onikakushi. It seems that the curse and being demoned away are different things, and they were phenomena that were paired together. Recall to Mitake's terrible end. There wasn't something as elegant as disappearing. The horrendous end would be best described as cursed. Then the one with him meant she was vanished because she was demoned away? What I do know is that there's normally an even number of victims of the curse proper. And the last point that bothered me was Rena. Rena was frightened. For whatever reason, I don't know. However, she knew that something had made her a potential target for Yoshiro-sama's curse. If I recall correctly, Yoshiro-sama should be the guardian of the deity of Hinamizawa. Isn't a guardian deity supposed to be to defend the citizen and drive out invaders? If I recall correctly, yesterday Onishi-san said that originally the targets were enemies of the village, but recently there was no longer any distinction between them or regular outsiders. But if that was the case, then I would think that it'd be more likely that the more likely target having moved here more recently than Rena. From her composure, I inferred that she was grimly certain that she would be next. I should probably relay what I heard just now to Oishi-san. Informing the police of what I heard by eavesdropping on my friend while pretending to be asleep. It made me feel terrible. It raised a few questions and left me with a bad taste in my mouth. Would it be better not to seek the answer to those questions? As I continued to learn more and more, it felt like I had fallen past the point of no return. I would definitely regret this one day. I would definitely regret ever having learned of these events. The teacher approaches. Keiichi-san, you must awaken. In the distance, I could hear the ring of the handbell signaling the start of the afternoon class. Gah, couldn't sleep at all. Hastily opened my eyes and raised my head up. I was in the moment and I leaned against the back of my seat. Ah! There was a thumbstick stuck on the back of my chair with tape. Circumstantial evidence was enough. Satoko! Guilty without trial. Capital punishment. I furiously jumped from my seat. And I tripped as if my feet were tangled up. My shoelaces had been tied together. Not bad, Satoko. While sleeping, you were able to conceal your presence to pull off this fine piece of work. The teacher came in right as I was about to pull off my shoes and tackle Satoko. Oh ho ho ho! Did you not notice that our teacher has arrived, Keiichi-san? Take your seat. Clump clump, wish whiff. Not caring one bit, I made her eat a flick to the forehead. Bwah! Keiichi-san is being mean. Hey. Okay, time to check the sprite. Okay, all of them are kind of nice. Huh, nice. It's not a jewel, it's probably a bead on her neck. Hey. Don't pick on the young kids, my Barakun. Apologize to her. Satoko stick her tongue at me, the little brat. Come on, my Barakun. Yeah, I'll apologize. Sorry, Satoko-kun. In any case, I apologize if it was completely insincere tone of voice. Damn her, I remember this. Kei-chan, Kei-chan, get your revenge at the club meeting. Take your seat, take your seat. I sat down after Mion told me she'd switched to the class representative mode. Are you calling him now? Better not. Oh yeah, cell phones probably aren't a thing this early. With the boring classes finished, school was finally over for the day. Now then, what should we do for the club today? Personally, I would like to play the deduction game one more time. I was hardly able to play it last time because of Oishi-san, when I weren't even able to test our strategy. That's right, today Keiichi-kun and I will be victorious. What should we do? We've never played the same game 2 days in a row before. Why not ask me? Mion looked over her shoulders. As we made eye contact, she slowly tapped her palm with her fist as her face suddenly lit up. Oops! I completely forgot. I need to go help my uncle today. Sorry guys, not today. Helping your uncle? Aren't you a little goody two-shoes? Sorry, sweetie. I really did forget. Well then, sorry guys. The old man is heading back home now. Ah, she's heading back home. Mion left us with that and rushed off to the exit after snatching up her bag. You see, Mi-chan, she sometimes goes to help out her uncle's shop in the town. Ah, I thought she wasn't the type to get caught up in such bothersome stuff. She said that she gets paid for it. It's quite a bit of spending money from what I hear. I see. She was able to pay for the mountain of games with what she saved up from here. There. But that wouldn't you just call that part-time job? A part-time job? Is that against school policy? There's a clause that states household chores are excluded. Is that what she's calling it? So what now? Pass on the club today? So we're done today, I guess. Wouldn't it be fine even if without the club president? Let's do this. Open the club locker and search for the deduction game from the ever-growing pile of games. Ah, there it is. The deduction game from yesterday. Man, I had to stop just as I was getting the hang of it. At the very least, I want to repay Satoko for what she did during the afternoon break. I do not mind, but is it fine for Rena and Rika? If Keiichi-kun wants to so badly, I won't mind playing for a bit. I think it's better if we do it when we have everyone together. When she says it like that, I wanted to go shopping if there wasn't a club meeting today. Going to buy soy sauce and other things. Oh, that's right. Completely forgot. Well, I guess since it's been a while, I should go treasure hunting. What's this? Now everyone was no longer in the mood for club activities. I kept on trying to push the matter. May make them realize that I had a trick up my sleeve. Ah well, I'll give up this time. Man, I was really looking forward to playing it. I shuffled to the cards as if I was still caught up on it. At the next opportunity, I shall give you a sound thrashing. Oh ho ho ho. The murderer is Satoko. The murder weapon is pistol. It was you after all. Ooh, what did you say? Then I'll just... Satoko looked to the cards on the desk and stuck out 3 at me. The murder is Keiichi. In the lounge with the rope. I don't need no rope. I'll just strangle you like this. No! Keiichi-san is such a beast. You. Well, I guess it's good that I got that out of my system. Wow. I remember this Keiichi-san. She was used as a plaything for quite a while. You poor thing. Hahaha, cute, cute. Everyone got together to go back home. Also helped gather up the scattered cards. I suddenly paused. They were just the suspect cards, but noticed something strange. Rena, Satoko, Rika, Keiichi, Mion, Satoshi. Satoshi? But all the cards were made by us. Or at least every card besides this one had the name of a club member. Does this mean that the Satoshi fellow is a member? Was there someone in the class named Satoshi? Couldn't find anyone named Satoshi on the class roster stuck up on the wall. Keiichi-kun, let's hurry and finish cleaning up. Being rushed by Rena, I finished up quickly. Toko and Rika-chan had already headed merrily for the lockers, so we were the only ones left in the classroom. Right now, Rena had already gotten her bag and was ready to leave. Rena, there must be quite a few people who transfer from school, right? Tried asking Rena in a bit of a runaway way. Rena made a troubled face and then answered. Yeah, Hinamizawa is a rural town, right? Some people transfer out every now and then. Then is Satoshi another one of those transferees? Sorry, I don't really know. There was a bit of a pause, but the answer was pretty much immediate. I'm not saying it to be mean. Just last year, I transferred in, so maybe I missed him. I don't hear much about him. Sorry. Not so sure, sorry. The answer was a lot like when she refused to tell me about the murder at the dam. Was saddened by her denial and felt a bit of anger. I'm their friend, aren't I? Friends don't keep secrets from their friends, do they? Though I do appreciate that they kept the unsettling curse thing from me. But if everyone is worried about it, rather be worried with them. That's what it means to be friends, right? For a moment I wondered just what kind of face I was making just then. Those mixed feelings and sadness and annoyance. Keiichi-kun, you're making a scary face. Why is it? Why? It was probably exactly the kind of face Rena said it was. Feared my grim expression had frightened her. Ah, sorry. I was really looking forward to the club today. I'm just feeling down about it. I rustled Rena's hair. Let's go home. Dragging that awkward mood with us, we head home. Cicadas! I wonder why. Why have I been getting this dumb feeling lately? I don't know anything. I had nothing to worry about. I was just enjoying my everyday life. My long, outstretched shadow gave no answer to my naive inquiry. Keiichi-kun, are you tired, maybe? Maybe? When I timidly questioned the reason behind my mood. I'm sure my expression made this situation even more unsettling. You think so? Yeah. You seem to have been a little out of it since the morning. Maybe a cold? Physically, I was pretty sure I was in perfect health. May not seem like it, but I've had a perfect attendance since elementary school. Rena continued on since I didn't give her an answer. Could it be that the fatigue from the morning has finally caught up to you? It's completely different from when you used to live, after all. Of course you've gotten tired since there's so much you need to get used to and remember. Maybe that's it. Yeah, it has to be. It was also like that at first, too. I can tell, you know? You know? I wonder if Rena also experienced a slight bit of alienation last year that I was feeling right now. Thinking, so I felt that she was the only one who could understand how I felt. I'd like to hear about when you first came to Hinamizawa. How was it? Being I had been drawn into the conversation, face suddenly brightened. Hehehe. It was the same as Keiichi-kun. I didn't know the villagers' names at all. Michan and the rest were all very kind, so wasn't lonely, but I did still feel a little out of place. She told me all the details from when she had moved here. All of her first acquaintances and surprises, worries and good times. So Satoko got you too? Yeah, there was a thumbtack put on my chair. Poke. Then with that, yeah, that really takes me back. When were you invited into the club? First day? Nah,
最初は部活
there
入
wasn't
って
a
な
club
か
at
っ
the
たの。
beginning.
途中からでき
It
たの。
was formed partway through.
放課後にみんなで
One
残って
day she
ゲー
said
ム大
we
会を
should
やろうって言い出し
stay
て。
after and hold a big game
そう
tournament.
いえば
Don't forget,
ミオン
Mion
初
did
代
say
部長
she
とか
was
言
the
ってたっ
first
け
club
な。
president.
納得。
Now I get it.
内緒だけどね。
This is a secret, but
みーちゃん
Michan
最
used
初は
to be
弱かったんだ
really
よ。
bad at the beginning.
全然勝てなか
She'd
った。
never win.
え
Huh?
ミオンが
Mion?
ちょっ
Really?
と想像
Can't
つ
even
かないぞ
imagine that.
自分で言い出した罰
She
ゲーム
had to
ほ
do
とんど自分でやっ
most
て
of the
たんだよ。
penalties that she came up with.
本当に内緒だからね。
Seriously, don't tell. Can't believe Mion was like that. So she gradually transformed into a monster who used any means necessary to win during that time. Mion at her best when she's fighting dirty. Mion is at her best.
みーちゃん以外と
I
も
began
ちょっ
making
と
more
ずつお
friends
友達に
besides
なれて。
Michan after that. But yeah,
で、ケイチくんが引っ越して
it
きた
might
時かな。
only have been since you moved
よう
here
やくここに馴染めたっ
They
て
had-
自覚したのは。
that I had finally felt like I had gotten used to it here. Yes, Rena had also been left in the dark about Urshio-sama when she first just moved here. Yes, when they finally told me about Urshio-sama, I'll be considered one of them.
俺はいつになったら
Wonder when I'll be able to consider one of
仲間だと思う。
them.
なんて言ったの？
Do you say
い
something?
やごめん
No, sorry.
独り言
Just talking to myself.
ケイチくん
Keiji-kun,
変な
you're
の。
silly. Rena was poking fun at laughing at me, and I couldn't help but laugh as well. But I suddenly stopped. Then, after making up my mind, I spoke.
なあレナ
Hey, Rena,
みんなは俺に
is there something that everybody's keeping
嘘
from
や
me?
隠し事なんかしてないよな
Huh?
してないよ。
No, not at all.
嘘だろ
You're lying, aren't you? I suddenly stopped. The expression was cold and intense.
どういう意味
What
だ
do you mean by that?
ケイチくん。
Keiji-kun. Her tone was still the same cheery and light-hearted one as
してるよ
before.
な
You are, aren't you?
俺に
Doing something for me.
隠し事を
After understanding that what I meant, the expression grew more intense. In that face, I regretted saying something so rash. She came back at me in a way I didn't expect.
じゃあさ、
Well then,
ケイチくん。
Keiji-kun,
ケイチくんこそ。
aren't you keeping
レ
something
ナたち
from
に
us?
嘘や隠し事をしてないかな。
Huh? Her tone didn't change. It was the first time I'd seen an expression from Rena. With how her gaze pierced through me, I couldn't believe this was the same Rena.
してないかな。
Aren't you?
嘘や隠し事。
Lies or
し
secrets?
てないかな。
Aren't you? You are. Secrets. Didn't actually say the part, but she looked as if she did. Instead with Tomitake-san and how I felt alienated from the group. Even without having to think about it, there were things I knew I felt guilty about, but I didn't tell everyone about what happened with Tomitake-san to be considerate. I was keeping the secret just the same way they didn't tell me about Ushio-sama. Then, aren't we
し
even?
てないよ
No, I'm not.
嘘も
No
隠し
lies.
事も
No
嘘
secrets.
だよ。
Liar. The answer was instant and it shook me. Rena started as if burrowing through me, watching me like a
どう
hawk.
して嘘
Why
だ
would you say I'm lying?
ケイチくん。
Didn't you say that you were called into the teacher's room yesterday? To the club meeting, Keiichi-kun? I know. You didn't go to the teacher's room. Sword hard. This clearly wasn't a bluff. She knew what happened. The teacher said you had a guest, didn't she? But you didn't talk at the entrance. You talked inside the car near the school gate. Some man we don't know. Knew anything. She knew I was called out by Oishi, that I heard at the incident with Tomitake-san as well. Did she know all of it? Exactly who was that man?
知らない
I
人
don't know him.
知らない人が
Why did someone you don't know have business with you?
俺が知りたいよ
I want to know that myself. Then what did you talk about?
みんなとは関係のない
It's nothing to
話
do
だよ
with you guys. It was a lie. Lies. Oof. Rena's scream echoed through the trees, sending frightened birds into the air. I couldn't exhale the deep breath I had just taken. It was like I wasn't allowed to exhale. It was here I first realized. The person in front of me, she wasn't Rena Ryugu. Then, who is it standing before me now? Who had assumed Ryugu's appearance? I held my breath for so long, I couldn't feel myself suffocating.
ね
Right? Then she made a facial expression the Rena normally might have made. It didn't matter that it was Rena's usual smile, it chilled me to the bone. She drew closer. Felt her breathing against my face. Wasn't the least bit exciting. Where this was, Rena's face was going to chew my nose right off. I cowered as I imagined that. Then she smirked, as if she was able to see right
圭
through
一
me.
君に内
We,
緒
ha-
や
al-
隠し
we
事
also
があ
have
るような
secrets, just like Keiichi could have
レナたち
secrets.
にだってあるん
It
じ
was
ゃない
Rena's usual smile. His eyes were still like that of a hawk's, bringing her face close enough to mine to almost bump into my nose. She kindly persuaded me. Kindly in, well, quotation marks. I couldn't know or shake my head. This person standing in front of me, this person who looked like Rena, frightened me to my core. I was terrified knowing that she could hear the sound of me swallowing nervously. After what felt like an eternity, to a long, empty silence, she finally spoke.
行こ
Let's go!
うだいぶ涼しくなってきたよ
It's getting chilly. It was Rena again. Smiling at me once more, she started walking as if nothing at all had happened. I was released from her gaze, my legs gave under me, and I slumped to the ground. Wasn't able to lift a finger until Rena was out of sight. Who was
誰
that?
だったんだよ。
Listen, I'd rather believe Rena is a psycho than an actual ghost or being possessed her here. Oh, well, maybe not psycho, but really traumatized about secrets? Really traumatized about others keeping lies, about hypocrisy? Not sure. Felt cold, my body was drenched in sweat. I was finally able to form a coherent thought and ask myself once again, who was that person who looked like Ren or Yugu? Probably still Ren or Yugu. Chapter end? Oh. I was out of it and couldn't bring myself to do anything until dinner except stare blankly into space. Was I terrified from Rena going off on me? No, that's not right. There was something else who only looked like Rena. Then who could I have been? It was a dreadful feeling. Knowing that there was someone else, not Rena. So tomorrow I shouldn't have a problem talking to Rena like I usually do. Yeah, that's cope, man. That thought was strangely comforting. I concluded that I should just calm down and clear my head. Those thoughts continued swirling around my mind. Finally, I returned to my senses as I heard my mother calling out from the bottom of my stairs. Keiichi! It's a call from the bookstore. Bookstore? Can't think of why they'd be calling me. Went downstairs and picked up the receiver anyway. Could be Neon? Ah, my apologies for calling so late at night. It's me, Oishi of Okonomiya Bookshop.
大石さん
Oishi-san?
大石さんじゃないで
Oh,
す
it's
か。
Oishi-san. Sorry. The parents picked up. I said I was from the bookstore. Puts people off when I say I'm a police officer. Oishi-san was, in his own way, rather courteous. Even so, I didn't want my parents hearing me talk to the police. Brought the cordless phone with me as I dashed back up to the room on the second floor. Sorry for calling so late. That phone number on the piece of paper I gave you yesterday was the old number. My apologies. Can you copy down the number I'm about to give you?
あ、はい。
Yeah?
どう
Okay.
ぞ。
He gave me the number for his direct line as I wrote it down. But that was the end of it. He began making protest small talk, and it was pretty hard to hang up. So how has it been, Mirabara-san? Did anything strange happen recently? I see. That was the real reason. He beat on the bush there. His adult conversation skills left me
大石
slack-jawed.
さんは
Are you from around here,
ここの地
Oishi-san?
元
Yeah, I am. Born and raised in Okinomiya. He's from around here. He might
あ
know.
の
Moshi-san,
鬼隠し
do you know what this
何のことか
Onikakushi
知って
thing
ま
is
すか
about? I believe that's when somebody suddenly vanishes because they've been abducted by a demon. A special saying from around here has the same meaning as spirited away, like everyone else says. Whereas my friends would say they didn't know when I asked, the older man gave me a direct answer. Made me a bit happy that he answered me directly without trying to hide anything. Mizawa was Not sure if I should tell you this,
もったいぶらないで
Barbara-san.
くださいよ
Don't play this off.
大石さんが言わないなら
If you're not going to
俺も
talk,
何も
then
言いませ
I'm
ん
not
よ
going to tell you anything.
ああいやいや
Oh, no, no.
そういう意味
That's
じゃ
not what I
ないん
mean.
ですよ
Just, it may
た
feel
だ
you bad.
実はですね
You see, long ago, Hinamizawa was feared as the village where demons resided.
鬼
Demons?
鬼って
By demons, you mean
地獄
those
にいる
pitchfork-carrying things in hell?
うん
More like
どういう
human-eating
よりは
demons.
里に降りてきて
That go down to
そこから
villages, snatching
食い散ら
people and
かして
gobbling them up. That kind of tale. Demons
怖い
snatching up
昔話
people
があるんです
is what they call what this Onikakushi really
たたりと
means.
鬼隠しは
They said that the
一緒に
curse
起こる
and
って言って
being
ましたけ
demoned
ど
away happened
どう
together.
いうことですか
What does that mean? I already knew about the mysterious deaths happening 5 years ago, but I don't know there were people disappearing for those same 5
たたり
years.
と鬼
The
隠
curse
し
and demon debate happened together?
これは初
First time
め
I've
て
heard of that.
そうなんですかお前
If that's how it is that how it is,
それは
Mebara-san?
俺が聞き
That's
たい
what I
です
wanted
よ
to
レ
know.
ナとミオンが
I
話
heard
した
Brenna
ん
and
です
Mion talking.
親
They
代
said
さんの
that
たた
if
り
it
なら
was
必
really
ず
Oyasho's
たたりと鬼隠
curse,
しが起こるっ
then
て
both the curse and demon away would happen. Where Oishi-san began hemming and hawing on the other end of the receiver. Maybe something about that came to
あ
mind?
江原さん
Mebara-san,
最初の事件
do you know the
ご
first
存知
descent?
ですよね
He suddenly sounds like he's in the room rather than on the telephone.
バラバラ殺
The
人
murder by dismemberment. Yeah,
6人の犯人の
one
う
of the
ち
6 perpetrators is
一
still
人
on the
は
run,
ま
right?
だ
例えば
Hypothetically,
逃走中じゃ
what if he is on the run but he was
ご自
demoned
宅
away?
にあったんじゃないでしょうかね
Huh? That was an outrageous hypothesis from Oishi-san. The incident 4 years ago was a particularly ghastly one. The police already knew the perpetrators. They posted tons of wanted posters with his face on them. That's actually not something I thought about. I did give it a quick thought about other incidents being possibly fitting this. Well, one person killed by a curse, one being demoned away. The priest in particular would kind of make sense. He killed himself, she disappeared in the swamp. But I couldn't think anything for the housewife. I don't remember if there was anyone else killed there. Don't remember hearing anything. And what was the second one? The second one... I think might have been 2 people as well, but I don't remember. I guess I just don't remember them well enough. After 4 years, there wasn't even a hint of where he might be. Unless the police were completely incompetent. Even if it was an outrageous hypothesis, I couldn't simply laugh it
じゃあ
off.
その翌年
And
の
what
事
about
件
the
はどうです
incident next year?
身近な男と
When the
妻
man
が
was
一
who
緒に一
supported
日
the
したんです
project when his wife both died in an accident. Ah, there we
実は
go.
ですね
Well, actually, it was only the husband who died in an accident. His wife's body never surfaced. Unless you find the body, then it's considered a missing person by law. The time of the incident with the river... Whoops. Time of the incident... with the river below the cliff being muddy rapids, the police divers can search every branch of the main stream of the river for dozens of miles. But in the end, they weren't able to find her
で
body.
も死
But
体が
that's
見
just
つから
them
ないだ
not
け
being
で
able to find
亡
the
くなったんで
body.
すよね
They're still dead, right?
鬼隠しとは違うんじゃないですか
Isn't it different from being demoned away? We cannot say someone is dead without the body. Until a certain number of years passes, by law, she's treated as alive. I'm not sure if it was right to call them being demoned away. The wife is missing. At least that part was reality. How about the third year?
神主は
The
病死
Shinto priest died of illness, and his wife committed suicide? My son. It's actually the exact same scenario. Wife has supposedly thrown herself into a bottomless swamp deep in the forest around Hinamizawa, meaning it's all circumstantial evidence. They simply found her suicide note in front of the swamp. A diver was able to find a few of her articles. They weren't able to find a body. The investigative headquarters believed that she had faked her death and was still alive somewhere. I'm not sure if I could refer these cases as being demoned away. It's just as you said, every year one person goes
今年
missing.
の事件では
Incident this year,
富武さんの
the one with
連れが
Tomitake-san
おり
has gone missing.
じゃあ去年の
Then
主婦の
what about the
殺人
incident with the
事件はどうですか
housewife being to death?
誰か行方不
Went
明
missing.
確か
Believe the
犯人は
perpetrator
逮捕
was
されたんです
caught, right? Yeah, we arrested him. He was just a miscreant with a record of narcotics abuse. He admitted the crime without being questioned about a different incident. But, well, you see, After he was arrested, a child from the victim's home went missing. It's still under investigation as to where the disappearance had anything to do with the crime.
だって
But
犯
you
人
said
は
you
捕ま
caught
っ
him,
た
right?
のそれとも
Did he have an accomplice? No idea. It was most likely only the one perpetrator. Moreover, we can't even check now. Because while under investigation, that man, he died in his holding cell. He swallowed a spoke and choked to death. But was not known whether it was an accident or suicide. Okay, swallowed a spoke and choked to death. Alright, that's a hard one to make sense of, other than the person was really stupid.
つまり
Meaning, for the last 5 years, there's always one person who dies and one who goes missing. That's about right. Well, actually, I'm surprised as well. Never realized they had that in common. Couldn't believe that this could help lead to the closing of the incidents. It was just something they had in
例え
common.
ば
Could be that those deemed away have something in common? Oshi-san mumbled as he seemed to think about it. To summarize the events, the first year was the diamond plea, second year was the wife of the dam project supporter, third year was the wife of the Shinto priest, fourth year was the victim's family child, fifth year was the victim's girlfriend, I guess. Doesn't seem like there's anything that connects them. With the exception of the first year, wives and girlfriends, those do stand out. Does seem like there are a lot. That means the fourth year's victim's child was different. Would have really stood out if it were all married couples. Except it's not just married couples, but parents and children as well. Come to think of it, Ryuta Mitake-san also told me the younger brother is alive and has moved, if I recall correctly. The child that went missing in the fourth year, who were they? Apparently he was quite mature, 1 year older than you. It's him. His name was Satoshi Hojo. Ah, Satoshi.
サトシ
Remember the name. Didn't they tell me that Satoshi transferred out last year? He was at your school up until last year. Didn't they tell you anything about him? Come to think of it, when I transferred in, I believe they said my seat belonged to a recent transfer student. Then where I sat once belonged to the one who was demon away? It was his seat? Called the cold sensation that came from the desk. Made my hair stand to the end. The string of mysterious deaths. Noyashiro-sama's curse. I now knew how it connected to me. The chilling sensation. I was the feeling of Hiroshima-sama caressing the back of my
お
neck.
社様の
Hiroshima-sama's curse, huh? Could Hiroshima-sama's curse really exist? In all honesty, I was beginning to believe it, and I was a bit scared. I was scared. That was why I wanted to say it was a plot crafted by man and not the work of a curse. But the more I dug into it, the less likely that seemed. No, the more I dug, the more mysterious it became. I kept digging eventually. I'd reached a point where I'd learned something I really shouldn't know. To either be one, none the wiser, or to seek an answer I may regret. Which one would I be happier with? Maybe it'll be me next time. My execution could only be delayed by 1 year. That's when I remembered. Rena. Rena said she may be next victim of the curse. You mean Rena Ryuga-san? She transferred in last year and she's your classmate, isn't she? The incident really might be a bit too disturbing for a girl. She's not just scared, is she? It wasn't that. She said it might be her next. She said it in a way that made me think she had a concrete reason
も
behind
っと
it.
確信じみた
Felt
もの
like
だ
she
った
was
ようななんていう
convinced.
のか
Almost as if you could say she was frightened. With sudden change in demeanor. That someone who looked like Rena but wasn't Rena. That might be unrelated. All the strange things that I felt from Rena today came back to me. I see. Then I'll be doing a bit of investigation on this end. Please continue observations of Ryuga-san. Ryuga-san, Maibara-san.
それは
Are you asking me to
レナを
keep
見張れって
Rena
こ
under
とですか
surveillance? That's not what I mean, Maibara-san. I just want you to watch out for your friend so that she doesn't end up the next victim. That moment, just as my mouth was agape because I was so impressed with his mature, clever way of his words. Knock, knock. A sudden knock on the door sent my heart racing. In an instant, I had pointlessly covered up the End of the receiver.
ケ
Keiichi,
ちょっ
get the
と
door,
ここを開けて
please.
くれ
Yeah, on the side of the door, I heard my father's oddly upbeat voice. What could it be? So late.
すみません、親父
Sorry,
が
my
来ま
dad
した
just came in.
今夜はこれく
Can
らいでい
we
いです
leave
か
it at this for tonight?
え
Yep.
え、夜分遅くに
Apologies again for
本当に
calling so
もし
late.
何か分かりました
If
ら
you find out anything else, please let me
こ
know.
ちらも
I'll
進展
tell
があ
you
りましたら
if I make any progress on this
で
end.
は失礼
Well done. Have a pleasant evening.
ケイチ
Keiichi, hurry up and open
早
up.
く開けてくれ父さん両手が
He's
塞が
got
って
his
るんだ
hands full. What is Dad doing? I had stayed in the same position while on the phone the whole time. My joints were aching. When I opened the door, I saw my father was standing there with a tray. On the tray, cookies and 2 cups of black tea. Very fancy spread for a household. Plus even sugar and lemon slices on the side. Everything you could ask for. It's quite to show hospitality.
何
What's going on, Dad?
それ何のつもり
What?
だよ
What's all this for? Come on now, don't play around, Keiichi. I'm coming in. Dad was in high spirits, had a smirk on his face. For my entire life, I'd never seen him acting this hospitable. What was going into him? So, what were we talking about? I jumped. It's not something I had to keep from my father, but how could I explain to him I was talking to a detective? I'm assuming he was, this late at night.
別に
Nothing much.
友達だよ
Just a friend.
電話の話
I don't mean the phone.
来てたんだろう
She was here, wasn't she?
レナちゃん
Rena-chan. Huh?
来てないよ
She wasn't here.
まあ
Come on now, don't
任さな
try
くた
to
って
keep
い
it
い
from me.
さっきレナちゃん
She just came over to
遊びに来てたじゃない
play.
かだいぶ話し込
You
んで
two
る
were
みたいだ
chatting
った
away,
から
sir.
お茶
Thought
で
I'd
も
bring
って
some
思った
tea.
すれ
It
違いだ
looks
ったん
like I
だ
just missed her. Had no idea what Dad was talking about. But a cold sweat dripped down my back. How
どの
long
くらい話
were
し
we
込んでた
talking?
レナちゃんが
Rena-chan
床
went
に上がっ
upstairs
たの
about
が
half
半くらい
after.
だったから
It was about close to an hour, I guess.
2階に上がった
You saw her come up the second floor.
ああ見たよ
Yeah, I did.
ケイチの部屋は
I also told her
階段を
that your
上がって
room
奥の
was
扉
the
だよ
door
って声
down
を
the hall up the stairs. When I came to my house about an hour ago, Dad met her at the door and called out to me on the second floor. Probably didn't hear him because I was too focused on my conversation with Oishi-san. He didn't reply, but he knew I was in my room, so he had to come inside. Then told her my room was on the second floor. She thanked my dad and went upstairs. About an hour passed. She passed by my dad just as he was bringing up the tea and left. He came upstairs and about an hour passed. Then passed by my dad and returned home. Then after she came upstairs until she left, where was Rena? There's only a short hallway between my room and the stairs, meaning Rena had about an hour in the hall. No, she couldn't have been standing in front of my door all the time. The door to my room wasn't particularly thick. I could easily hear everything being said inside. All the unsettling and unguarded things I spoke to Oishi-san about began running through my head. Honey, don't tease him. More importantly, you need to clean up your studio. It's a mess again. Mom yelled at Dad from downstairs. Dad left the tray with me, went downstairs with a disappointing chortle. Pulled my dad out of the door with my eyes. I looked down the floor around the doorway where Rena might have been standing. Just now, as I was talking to Ishi-san, with my back turned, Rena was standing a mere 6 feet away the whole time. All this time, in this dimly lit doorway, what did she see? What did she hear? For what reason? As the steam from the 2 teacups ominously wafted and whispered, the aroma of black tea filled my room. Well, that's creepy as fuck. Rena, I love you, but personal space. Let's do the tips, but wow. Holy shit, Rena. A bit of a coincidence that the main character didn't hear, you know, them calling that Rena came. Assuming they did call. I think he said they probably did. And that trainer came just today of all days. But yeah, visual novel, alright. I'm willing to give it a pass for that much. And that the main character didn't hear her at all. Jesus Christ. Notice on the police chief. July 1st, 1982. Departments 1 through 12. XX Prefecture Police Headquarters. Director General XXX. The Chair Constable and all facility managers. Regarding cases situated in the Hinezama village. Notice. As cases in Shishibone City, Mizawa village have been reported by certain sections of mass media, has drawn global attention, which is causing serious repercussions for local residents. It has become a very serious situation. To protect the livelihood of prosperity of the residents, the following notice has been issued. 1. Designate the following criminal investigations as classified. Okinemiya Station, 1982, case number X. Hinamizawa Village housewife murder. Okinemiya Station, 1982, case X. Mizawa Village student disappearance. 2. Non-disclosure of information. Okinemiya Station, 1979, case X. Mizawa Village site woman murder. Shira Station, 1980, case X. Shirakawa Natural Park falling incident. Okimiya Station, 1981, case X. Mizawa Village Shinto priest's wife's disappearance. Requesting self-restraint from each organization concerning the release of the sensitive information. Please see attached reference material 1, 2, and 3. Management XX Prefecture Police Headquarters. Internal line XXX. Police Affairs Department XXXX. What? Things are getting serious. Let me save. I'm gonna take a break. Rena is being creepier and creepier. And I have seen, again, the anime years and years ago. I'm not sure I've even seen all of it. But I have a good feeling what is going to happen at the end of chapter 1, very least. Not chapter 1. Game 1? Story 1? Not sure. Anyway, gonna take a quick 5-minute break. See you in a moment. Alright, I'm back. Hope you enjoyed the jazzy music. Let's go forward. If this is anything like the last two streams, we're gonna do one chapter. But it's gonna be somehow the longest one. Let's hope this keeps being that way. Starting to get crept out. Either way, I'm pretty sure we're finishing the first game, first chapter, first story tomorrow. Weariness and a headache. Not a very nice way to start the day.
どうしたの？
What's wrong,
ケイチ。
Keiichi?
今朝は顔色
You don't look so well.
夕べは何時に寝た？
When did you go to sleep? Seeing that the mother had noticed my sullen state. Yes, I kept on waking up in the middle of the night. Without a doubt, I felt a presence. Felt the presence of someone standing in front of my door. Told myself repeatedly it was my imagination, forced myself to try and sleep. Except, not being able to stand it, got up my courage and opened the door. Of course, there wasn't anyone there. I think I did this 3 times throughout the night. Or maybe I just didn't remember doing it any more than that. Even though I was able to go to the breakfast table without incident, I still don't feel at ease.
風邪かもしれな
I
い。
might be cold. Be a cold. I don't really have an appetite.
あら、
My,
ちょっと熱あるんじゃ
you
ない？
do seem a little warm.
どうする？
Well,
学校。
can you make it to school? Technically, I did go to our school. It was mostly self-study. I wouldn't matter much if I missed a day, would it? It could have been that I hadn't been feeling well for the last few days because I really did have a cold. If I took some medicine, got a good day of rest, I might be able to greet everyone with a smile tomorrow. Ding dong. Startled, I look back and forth between the entrance and the clock. It was 10 minutes later than when I usually met up with Rena. It was Rena.
レナちゃん、
Rena came to get you. What are you going to do? Are you going to take the day off? Rena was a good girl. She might be somewhat quirky, but she was certainly cute. The lunches she made were delicious and she always looked out for me. Why would I be scared of something like that? It wasn't Rena's fault. The sprawl be mine. It had to have been my cold. It just had to
休
be.
む。
I'll rest. Sorry.
じゃあ、
Then I'll go
朝
send
のこと
her
を
off
でき
for
てあげる
you.
わね。
Mom headed off to the door. I would have to pass by the entrance to get back to my room. Didn't have the nerve to meet with Rena, so wrapped myself in a blanket on the sofa and closed my eyes. I was so sleep deprived, I quickly fell into a deep slumber. Mouse. I'd only intended to lie down for a bit. It was almost noon when I woke up. Called out to my parents, but they didn't seem to be around. On the table, I found lunch prepared and a note. Mom and Dad had apparently driven off to somewhere far away. Uh-oh. It likely had to do with Dad's work. This happened every so often, so it wasn't that unusual. They would be back for dinner, but might be a bit late. On the note, it said, the insurance card is in the cabinet, take it and go to the hospital. There was also a well-drawn map to the hospital. That's right. I hadn't been there before, so I didn't know exactly where it was. Had a light lunch, although it really was just leftovers from the morning, and just in case, went to the hospital. Normally, I'd never be here in the middle of a weekday. Just walking around like this had me feeling guilty. It was an odd feeling. Following my mom's map, I took a road I usually never used. Walking for a bit, the hospital sign came into view. Erie Clinic was written rather stylishly on the sign. Ooh, wasn't this the clinic Mia was working on? The clinic wasn't very big, but based on the scale of the rest of Hinamizawa, it was far too grand. There was a parking lot and even a reserved spot for buses. They must be making a mint. Spaced out in the air-conditioned waiting room until it was my turn to be seen. Mibara-san, please make your way to the examination room. After half-heartedly answering all the chatty doctor's questions, he responded with a, it's probably a cold. They gave me a shot and 3 days worth of medicine. I thought it was a little overboard, but it would clear away my gloomy feeling I'd been having lately, so it was worth it. settled the bill and took a quick trip to the washroom. As I was leaving, I overheard a conversation between some elderly people who seemed to be regulars at the clinic. Of course, I had no intention of eavesdropping. If it just wasn't for that word. Must have been an Onikakushi. I wonder. She was still pretty young. Might have just eloped. But whom? That man from Tokyo who visits every season. That young one with the big camera. Didn't you know they were getting along pretty well? Were they talking about Umitake-san? I could feel my ears perking up. I don't know about that, but you have to make preparations before you elope. You leave a note or quit the job or something. And open because they didn't leave a note or message. True. The thought that I'll never see the young nurse's face again makes me rather sad. Takano-san is a very upstanding young woman. She'll be fine wherever she goes. So her name was Takano. That woman with Umitake-san. And she worked at this clinic? Where Shiro-sama's shadow was following me everywhere I went. I started listening more closely, but they began to talk about fishing, and it didn't seem like they were going to revisit the topic. Gave up and left. Thus, even though I was separated from the daily monotony of school, I was able to escape Shiro-sama's shadow. But of course, Oroshima-sama was the guardian deity of this place, of Hinamizawa. As long as I was in Hinamizawa, I wouldn't be able to escape. Maybe it was because I was walking outside, but my appetite had suddenly returned. Might as well buy a snack, with a change from an examination fee on the way home. Contemplating that, I turned into a familiar street. The moment I heard a car horn abruptly honk behind me. Was I really walking so far into the middle of the road that I'd been in a car's way? Moved further off the side, but the horn was still honking at me. Turned around and peeved. Maibara-san, good day to you. Was Oishi-san. He stepped out of the car, AC on full blast, and waved at me. What's up today? Warm break? Just not feeling well, so I took the day off. Was about to buy lunch and head back home. That's great. Just about to get lunch myself. Would you mind going together? If you're not feeling up for it, don't mind me. But just going to lie down after going home anyway. I didn't really have a cold. I expect you'd rather avoid using one of the local places. Let's go into town. It's a bit of a drive, is that alright? I know a pretty good place. I'd finally begun understanding Oishi-san's roundabout way of saying things. He probably wanted me to talk about the stuff that would be difficult to discuss while in Hinamizawa. I went with Oishi-san riding in his fidget car. It was almost as if the bright sun outside was a lie. I'm sorry about calling you so late last night. Did your parents get angry at you? No. I called Rena, who had been listening to the phone conversation all the time, separated from me by just the door. Even now, in the brightness of the sunlight, the thought still creeped me out. The big bump that jolted the car, the road connecting the city changed from a dirt to pavement. My head swirled back with a sudden realization. That's right. This is where Tomitake-san died. They've hit a snag on investigation regarding Tomitake-san. Oishi-san spoke while peering at me in the corner of his eye. They believe it was caused by hallucinogens. Giving hunger was clawing out his own throat. But a drug that could cause that to happen so suddenly is extremely hard to come by. Bear in mind, of course the autopsy was done with the premise in mind, but we didn't find any leads. You know that thing you see in manga all the time? Where there's a drug that doesn't leave any traces behind for being consumed? It exists. Sakin alcohol. Good enough. Or something or other. Well, it's pretty common. But you see, there doesn't seem to be any kind of drug that would cause Tomitake-san to react like that. Then, saying the police conclude Tomitake-san just died from the curse? Couldn't help but feel the police were worthless. That's one of the idea of the curse to be dissociated with Tomitake-san's mysterious death. Fortunately, that is how it looks like now. With putting aside the cause of death, without a doubt, he was surrounded by a group of people and had taken a beating before he died. That was no curse, but an incident that unquestionably involved other humans. Still not quite buying that. That made me a bit relieved. passed in front of the rather desolate but still busier than Himezawa train station. The car pulled into a restaurant parking lot and followed Oishi-san into the shop. It's gonna be the shop Mion works part-time in. It was pretty crowded, but there was only adults at this hour. Of course, there wouldn't be children in there in the middle of the weekday. 2 please. I'll make do with non-smoking.
こちらへどうぞ
This way
ご
please.
注文がお決まりにな
When
り
you
ま
are
したら
ready to
お
order,
かけください
please call me over. We're led by a peculiarly dressed waitress to our table. I sat with Oishi-san in the booth.
どうです
So what do you think?
このお店のウェイ
Aren't the waitress outfits here cute? Huh?
まあ、
Well, I guess.
このお店で
The shop is always quite busy.
お料理よ
It's
り
more about the waitresses than the food, you see.
あ
Uh-huh.
あ、大石さん。
Oishi-san, you're leering.
うん
Huh?
そうですか
Am I really?
うん
Alright, I'm putting him in the untrustworthy bucket. Seems to be a bit too ready to find a culprit no matter what. And reading a bit too much into his own findings for me. And now this. Because of how the waitress looked, the food was decent enough. Fisher or Meals was talking about some inane topic. Oishi-san, after meal cup of coffee arrived at the table. Yesterday we talked about Hinozawa-san's cast, didn't we?
え
Yeah, that was the village of man-eating demons or something like that. I didn't know much about it myself, so I asked my mother about it in the morning. Oishi-san took out a notepad that was stuffed to his breast pocket. Turns out that Himezawa used to be called Onikakushi, the demon's abyss.
鬼が淵。
Onikakushi?
すごい名前で
That's
すね。
quite a name. The name is still around. The swamp where the Shinto priest's wife drowned itself is still called Onigafuchi. It is said that the depths of the swamp connected to the realm of demons. Of course, nobody had told me anything about such an ominous swamp, and you see, it appears that they were both feared and revered. A respect born of fear. I guess you could say it was a kind of deification. A world of inhuman creatures. Seems the demons were Senin, a mountain-dwelled mystic of sort. Villagers with incurable diseases would be taken to Onigafuchi to be healed, for example. Even if we are calling them demons, Tengu, long-nosed goblins, or Senin would be more apt
鬼
description.
って言っても、
They don't really seem like terrible people, even though they were called demons. But they were still man-eating demons. According to the story my mother told me, as pain for treating the son's illness, let us say the mother who brought him here, was apparently how things went.
息子を治療してもら
The
った
price of killing her son was herself?
それは怖いな。
That's unsettling.
もちろん
Of course, the mother took her son and ran.
これをですね
Then you see all the villagers from Onigafuchi, the demons, chased, surrounded, and captured
全
them.
員で追いかけて取り囲んで捕まえたんだそうです
The entire village, apparently. It's quite frightening to imagine. Village of cannibals or something like that.
結
Doesn't seem
局
impossible.
母親も息子も
In the end, it seems both the mother and son were caught and eaten. The end.
その話、
There's a problem with the story.
当事者の二人
Both,
が食べられちゃ
both
ったんです
witnesses in
か
the story were eaten,
その
so
話
nobody
が
would be
残
able
る
to
はず
tell
はあ
the
りませ
tale.
ん。
ありゃ
Ah? Wahahaha, there are plenty of old fables like that.
昔話はこうい
In
うの多
contrast
い
to the
ですよ
ghastly tale,
ね
Oishi-san laughed heartily while sipping his coffee.
でもですね
But well,
他の昔話にも
there are quite a few other tales,
鬼ヶ淵の
where the demons from
鬼ヶ淵
Onagafuchi
の
band together to capture their prey.
という
Carl and Mion said all the villagers united and fought against the damned construction. Such similarities with how that part of our unification
鬼
overlapped.
たちの獲物
They
は
would always hunt down a single person, and they chose who it was going to be beforehand. Huh? That caught my attention. Oishi-san also appeared to be pondering what it meant.
ばあ様が言うには
My mother
ですね
told me that you must never interfere with the
鬼の
demon's
家に
hunt.
閉じこもって布団をかぶ
To
って
just
る
hole up in your house and hide under the covers, she
つまり
said.
どういう
So
こ
what
と
does
です
that
か
mean?
獲物の人を
It means you mustn't ever help or
かくまったり
protect the
して
prey.
鬼の狩りを邪
As
魔
long
し
as you
ない
don't
限り
disturb the demon's
村
hunt,
人には禁
no
止
harm will fall upon the
そういうルール
villagers.
なんだそうです
It seems there's that kind of rule. Basically, don't help the victims. Pretend you didn't see the atrocities. In other
ルールを
words,
破ったら
what happens if you break the
どうな
rule?
る
Well,
何しろ
man-eating demons after all. The many parts of the tale caught my attention. Part of the story he had told me overlapped with his theory that the entire village was in on the crime. Even if it wasn't the whole village, it was conceivable that the villagers were hiding under the covers and leaving them to die. When there's a group... Whoops. When there's a group that went on their hunt, wasn't it? I didn't dare speak.
じゃあ大石さ
Then
ん
Oishi-san, I guess it looks like either the entire village or a group of villagers perpetrating their
バーバラ
crimes.
さんは
What do you think, Mahabara-san?
ああすみません
Ah, excuse
コーヒ
me.
ーの
Another cup
お
of
代わり
coffee,
ですか
please. That was what I wanted to know. It seemed that we were both waiting for the other to say the last part. He waited for the waitress to finish pouring coffee before
去年
speaking. Last
サト
year,
シ君が失
I
踪
had
した
a
こと
nagging feeling when
私は
Satoshi-kun
気に感じてい
disappeared.
たんです
Oishi-san muttered as he watched the milk swirl in his coffee.
それでサトシ
Milk with coffee?
つまり
I mean, fairly
前
normal.
原さんのお友達グループの皆さん
So those friends of Satoshi-san, meaning your groups of friends, Mibara-san, had a
本
bit,
当にちょっぴりだけ
really
です
just a little bit, okay,
調べさせても
of a background checking down on them. If Oishi-san had said this to me before, I would have gotten angry at him for calling my friends into question. But as I am now, I
とて
couldn't.
もつまらない
This might sound pretty stupid.
前
Mibara-san,
原
if you
が
feel
つま
that
らないと感
stupid,
じたら
please say
終わ
so.
りにしますので
I'll just stop. Oishi-san was wearing the most serious expression that I'd ever seen from him. It was as if he was telling me to prepare myself and listen. There were quite a few things I regretted hearing from Oishi-san, but none of them were as threatening as this. A little voice inside me was screaming like an alarm. Stop, Keiichi. This was probably the last one. I took a deep breath and silenced that voice. I would not run from the
お
truth.
願いします
Please. That was all I could utter. Oishi-san stared into my eyes silently for a few moments. After he was certain I was ready, he
1
began.
年目の事件
The
の
victim of that incident in the first year was the overseer. A few weeks prior, he had an altercation with Mion Sonozaki-san.
何度か
Multiple altercations. Oishi-san had said before that Mion had defied the dam project vehemently. Well, it wasn't hard to imagine how she'd be if she got worked up.
2年目の事件で
If the second year, the married couple who supported the project died in that accident, right?
現場には
Their daughter was with them at the time.
それが
Her name is Satoko Hojo-san.
え
Huh?
佐藤って
Satoko meaning Satoko? Oishi-san told me that my voice was too loud. I realized it was as well, and quickly quieted
3
down.
年目には
The Shinto priest and his wife who died the third year, you
そ
see.
のお嬢さん
Their
が
daughter is Rika Furuda-san.
リカちゃん
Rika-chan was
4年目に亡くなっ
the
た
housewife who died in the fourth year. You already know, don't you? You know already, don't you?
北条聡子
It was the step aunt of Satoko Hojo-san.
当時は聡子
She was
さん
in
は
her
両親を事故で
She was in her aunt and uncle's custody
預けられた
as she had lost both of her parents in the
被害
accident.
者宅
She lived in the victim's house. I could tell my lips were getting dry. I didn't even have the wits to keep my mouth from hanging agape. I had thought it was nothing but a bizarre incident, and that I could easily distance myself from it. But clicking and clacking, it had snuck all the way to my feet.
4年目に失踪した北条聡さん
The one who disappeared in the fourth year. By the way, he was Satoko-san's older brother. What?
だ
Just wait just a second.
待ってください
It took everything I had just to finally say that. I gulped down a glass of water and once again wiped my face with a napkin. Calm down, Keiichi Maibara. But Oishi-san was relentless. Instead of waiting for me to finish sorting out my feelings, he started speaking again. The last of the things I shouldn't have heard.
被害者たちは
All the
なぜ
victims
か
seem to be connected to your
あな
groups
た
of
のお友
friends.
達グループに全てつながります
All of them were connected to club members. And what's his face? Oh man, I forgot his name. That is not nice of me. For the cameraman. Takabe? No. It was on with T. Well, he was made a club member that evening.
偶然に決まっ
That
てるじゃ
has
な
to
い
be
で
a
すか
coincidence.
前原さん
Mebara-san, keep it down. Everyone's looking. Mion? Satoko? Rika-chan? So what if they were connected? Telling me all of my friends? It couldn't be, just couldn't be. Oh, Rena is different, isn't she? Rena isn't connected with the victims at all.
竜宮レナさん
Rena Yugo was living in a suburb of Ibaraki Prefecture up until last year.
まあ確かに
Well, it's true she hadn't directly met any of the
直接面
victims.
識はありませんが
He said it in a roundabout way. Is he saying she's also connected?
実は
Actually, I looked
調べ
into
てみた
her.
ら
Before Yugo moved to Hinamizawa, she was suspended from school.
なんでも
It seems she went through her school building and broke all the windows.
レナが
Rena-san did that?
学校中のガラスを
She
割っ
broke
た
all the windows at her school? That same space Rena had? I couldn't even imagine it. It seems that after her 3-day suspension, she didn't return to school. She went to a neurologist and was diagnosed with dysautonomia. Was given weeks of counseling and medication. I wonder if it was something like nervous breakdown. I'd heard that it happens to people who are really methodical or overly sensitive. Now those matched Rena's easygoing personality. And in the counselor's medical report, recorded all the conversations he had with Rena.
その中に出てくる
It showed up. And quite a bit of
何
that.
がです
What did? Press forward carelessly. There couldn't be anything more for me to
出てくる
regret.
んです
She mentioned
親代様
the word Oyashiro-sama. Felt like someone's stone, cold hand was caressing my back. Why had Rena spoken of Oyashiro-sama before she even came to Hinamizawa?
親代様っていう幽霊みたいなものがですね
It seemed that Oyashiro-sama she spoke of was like a ghost appearing in her house every night,
枕元に立って
standing over her pillow
自分を
looking down at
見下ろ
her.
すんだって
My mind froze. Couldn't process what I was being
そ
told.
の後
A while
しばら
after
く
that,
して
she moved to
南
Hinamizawa.
ああそうそう
Ah, that's
レ
right.
ナさんは
She's not an outsider. Huh?
住民票で分
According to the residence registry, the Yugo family used to reside in Hinamizawa.
レナさんがちょう
They
ど
moved
小
to
学校になった
Ibaraki
時
just as Rena
に
had entered
茨城
elementary
に
school.
移されたんです
My mind went completely blank. It was similar to the static you see on blank TV channel. My ears began ringing as I lost all sense of comprehension.
大丈夫で
Mebara-san,
すか
are you alright?
終わり
Shall we
にしま
stop?
しょうか
Those words brought me back. I couldn't let it end
レ
here.
ナのことは分かりま
Now,
した
I know about
じゃ
Rena.
あその
Then how about the last
最
victim,
後の被害者
Tomitaki-san?
誰と接点があるん
Who
で
was
す
he
か
connected with? Irritated, I let out a final reprisal. Well, you kind of.
全員
All of them.
お忘れですか
Have you forgotten, Mebara-san?
みんなで
Didn't you all spend the night of the festival together quite merrily?
何人もの
Quite a few of the officers saw
皆
you
さん
enjoying
の楽し
yourself.
そうな様子を見て
Now,
いた
there was nothing I could respond with. Felt silent as my brain turned to mush.
そろそろ出ま
We
しょ
should get going.
うああ前原さん
Mebara, did you take your
お昼
afternoon
の薬
medicine?
は飲みましたか
Completely forgotten about the medicine I had gotten today. Oishi-san said that. Got another glass of water and left the shop after I chucked it down. We got into the car and returned to Hinamizawa via the rough road. I never really paid attention to when I was on my bicycle, but cars normally shake this much. It was almost as if the road was desperately trying to tell me something. Badum. Big jolt was from difference in elevation, the road when it changed from cement to dirt. I was certain that I heard Tomitake's scream. I sat in silence, just letting myself be shaken by the
お
car.
家の前まで
I'll
送り
drop you off at your
今
house.
日は
You missed school because you were ill, correct?
長々とお
My
話し
apologies
して
for the
しま
long
って
conversation.
なんで俺に話す
Why did you talk to me? I blurted out that question. Really, just blurted it out. I didn't expect an answer. I did check you first, didn't I? If we should just stop.
じゃなくて
Not
どう
that.
して俺に
Why
接
did you
触して
reach
きた
out
ん
to
ですか
me? I understood quite well that Oishi-san was investigating the string of suspicious incidents. But why was he telling me all of this? I knew nothing and couldn't help. Everything Oishi-san spoke of was news to me. First of all, what could I, having just moved here, possibly know? By chance, if there was a reason Oishi-san to reach out to me, then it would have been would have to be that I was part of Mion's circle of friends who looked suspicious to Oishi-san. I'm retiring this year.
定年したら
I plan on moving away after retiring as my mother wants.
だからこそ在職
So
中
while
に
I'm still on the case, I want to bring truth to the incident to light. So Oishi-san, respect them, don't you?
みんなを
All of them. Oishi-san didn't really give me a response. I felt a little late, but I thought it was his way of showing a bit of consideration to my feelings. This is most of my intuition from 30 years on this job. Ibara-san, you're the one in danger. Huh? I wanted to reply with, That's absurd. But my downtrodden state, I couldn't bring myself to say it. I'll be retiring this year. It won't be at the next Watanashi next year. So, I want us to settle things. In other words, he was insinuating that on the next Watanashi, I might be the victim. I've been warned by the chief as well. Each incident is a string of cases that has been solved. Don't bring it up again, or so I'm told. This is the pressure that I'm facing.
圧力って
Pressure from what? Someone in Hinamizawa. We're arrived. Is this fine? After some time, the car finally reached the path to my house. The clock read 2 p.m. I was surprised so little time had passed since we ate. It was hot outside the car. The chirping of the Higurashi hurt my ears. I won't mind if you just forget everything I told you today. But I'm still going to keep investigating. I'll end Oyoshiro-sama's curse this year.
何かあったら
So you're saying I should contact you if anything happens? It's fine. Just contact me when you feel you have to, Maebara-san. I wasn't collected enough to understand Oishi-san's running way of saying it. Be sure to take it easy. I'm sorry for throwing all this at you when you're taking the day off because you're sick. Didn't really give any sort of response. I'll always be on your side. If anything, believe that. I'll be off now. Yeah, honestly, he's kind of suspicious to me. Not as in he's doing the murders, but more as in it feels like he has personal investment in figuring this out, possibly clouding his judgment. That's the kind of feeling I have. Tires crunched over the dirt road as the car made a U-turn and disappeared into a cloud of kicked-up dust. It felt like I was watching a boat only throw me a lifesaver in shark-infested waters before disappearing into the distance. That's the first time I thought Oishi-san was being unfair. Telling me I was going to be the next victim, then just saying to contact him if something happened. This wasn't a criminal investigation. It was fishing. Now it's just the bait dangling off the line. Would the fish be the perpetrator? Or was it really just Oishiro-sama's curse? Either way, the bait would be swallowed whole. Damn it, I don't want to die. For some time, I could do nothing but stare at the puddle of water left behind by the AC from the car. Higurashi when they cry. Good, I was going to say, I really don't think the chapter would end here. I wondered how much time had passed since I lay down. It was getting dark outside. My body was soaked in sweat. It would probably be a good idea to change my sheets. That moment, the phone downstairs rang. Probably Mom. Mom was quite worried about. Maybe she was calling me. Maybe she called many times, but I just didn't notice it. You have a phone in your room, don't you?
もしもし
Hello, this is my bar residence. Oh, he's alive. Hello. This is Mion. How are you doing? Huh? He's one of Keiichi's friends.
ケイイチは休んで
Keiichi's resting now, but
変わりましょうか
shall I put him on? Huh? Is this his dad? Sorry.
バカで
Idiot.
引っかかってやがる
You
よ
fell for it. Huh? Keiichi! After our exchange, we both had a good laugh together. Except I was suspicious of her even as we laughed. Was everybody really involved in the incidents? The fact that I couldn't say no saddened me. I'm relieved that you seem so well. When I was really worried, you know? Sadako-chan was happy and said you got what you deserved. Rika-san said how unfortunate he's sick.
みんなで勝手に思い
Looks like
上
Kale
げて
was
たみ
making
た
a
い
big
だ
deal
な
out of it. Well, you know, so Kei-chan. Is now a bad time to come pay you a visit?
お見舞い
A visit?
いいよそんな
No, it's okay. It's not like I'm dying. My grandma made a ton of mochi, you see. I was told to share them. So I'll come bring you some.
おいおい
Hey,
風が移っ
now,
ても知らねえ
you
ぞ
catch me a cold. Not to worry, but both and I are too stupid to catch a cold. Haha. See you. Be there in a bit. She hung up cheerfully. Rena's coming too? That's what it sounded like. I was still concerned about meeting Rena, but I guess she was with me on. I heard the doorbell 10 minutes later.
どんな感じ？
How are you feeling?
ちゃんと薬飲んで寝てた？
Did you take your medicine and rest?
そりゃもうしっ
I
かり
did just that. Thank goodness you look well. I was worried.
悪かったな。
Sorry, I'll be fine
明
by
日には
tomorrow.
もう大丈夫だよ。
Mion showed a complete lack of concern for someone who's recovering, and Rena looked like she was worried about me from the bottom of her heart. It didn't look like there was anything behind those expressions.
ちょっとお邪魔し
I
ようか
thought
と
we
思った
might
けど
hang out for a bit, but looks like you're not quite in condition for that. Huh?
そうか
You。don't say? See, my face appeared a bit sullen.
じゃあこれ
Then here, Keiichi-kun.
みーちゃんのおばあ
There's
ちゃ
a
ん
lot
が
of
作って
mochi.
くれたおはぎ
Mochi, Mi-chan's grandma made. It's poison! Don't eat it! Rena held out a package wrapped in newspapers. There might be about 5 in here. It's quite hefty.
まあ、サン
Ah,
キュー
thanks. Send regards to your
な。ミオ
grandma,
ンのばあちゃ
Mion.
んによろしく伝え。
Yep.
その
Ah,
中にね
there's one that I made as well here.
大地君に見
What
つけ
if
ら
Keiichi
れる
can guess which one?
これ今日の部活
This
を
is
欠席
Kei-chan's
したケイちゃんに
homework
宿題
since he missed the club
お
yesterday
はぎにアル
meeting
ファベットが
today.
ついてるから
There are letters on each mochi, so I'll ask you tomorrow.
お見舞いなの
Were you checking if I was feeling better, or did you just come here for club activities? Yep, yep, looks fine. Guess you'll be able to make it tomorrow.
この騒ぎで熱が
Man, what are you going to do if my fever comes back because of your shenanigans? Mi-chan, we should be making such a racket. We shouldn't. Let's
お
go.
家の人にも怒ら
The
れるよ
the other people here will get angry. Both of them thought my parents were home. It's because the entranceway was a mess.
そうだね
You're right. Let's get going. Ah, by the way, Kei-chan.
なんだよ。
Yeah? Uh-oh.
お昼何食べた？
What did you eat for lunch? Some question startled me. Went wide-eyed when I saw Mion. I had never seen her like that. This highly unsettling visage. But why is she asking me about what I ate for lunch? What she said was so inane, I was almost meaningless. The way she said it was almost like she didn't even care at all about what I ate. I ate
思った
out.
こと食べたよ。
She must have suspected that I was with Oishi-san. Anyway, felt that if I hesitated or tried to change the subject, they'd read too deep into it. So tried answering as quickly as possible. Except, contrary to the efforts I had made, there was a pause before they replied. So you ate out for
お
lunch,
昼は外
Keiichi-kun?
食だったんだね
The glimmer from Rena's eyes had changed at some point as well. It was now sharp, as if to make me feel the feigned ignorance behind her words even more. As if she already knew. That's how it looked to me. Well,
美味しかった。
was it good?
なんでそん
Why
な
are you asking me this? Mia was speaking in an unusually low tone. Almost as if she knew that I had eaten at a restaurant in town. No, I'm overthinking it. I mean, both of them should have been at school at lunchtime. There's no way they would have known where I was.
渋いおじさま
Since
と
you're
ご
with
一
a
緒だった
rather
みたい
austere
だ
looking
けど
older guy. Who was he?
誰？
Flop. The package with the mochi was holding slipped out of my hands. Could tell the blood had ran from my face, making me go pale.
へえ
Aww.
ケイチ
Keiichi-kun,
君
who was he?
ひょっとして
Will it be the person
こ
from
の間
before, I
のこと
wonder?
かな
I wonder? I could feel the back of my throat going dry. This was no longer a bluff. They knew everything. How do you know that?
そんなこと
It took everything I had to finally force those words from my throat. My knees were shaking.
さてね
Because
おじさんにわからない
there's
こと
nothing this
ない
old man doesn't know. Mion sneered knowingly. Her laugh seemed to carry on forever.
で
Sorry,
ケイ
Kei-chan.
ちゃん
What did you talk about?
随分と熱
Seems like
く
you
な
got
って
pretty
たみ
worked
たい
up over it too.
みんなの話
We
は
won't
してない
talk
よ
about you guys. Yes, you
ミ
were.
オンともレナとも関
It
係
didn't
ない
have anything to do with you or Rena.
ふん
Huh?
聞いてもないのに
Is it a bit strange to hear our names come up even though nobody asked about that? As unwavering gaze pierced through my eyes and peered further inside. Like my own grave. Heart was throbbing so much it felt like it was going to explode. Well, what are you trying to hide? These old men are
お
He
じさんに
sees
は
through it all.
それだけを忘れないでくれ
Remember that. I couldn't even shake my head. Took everything I had to stop my teeth from chattering. She never let her gaze break mine, even as she tilted her head
ケイ
slightly.
チ君
Keiichi-kun, you don't look so good.
もう横に
I think you should lie down.
そうだね
That's true.
私たちはもう
We should both head back home. They both giggled at each other and started making their way out. I had moved a muscle since I had dropped the package of mochi. As they left, the door slowly closed behind them. All I could do was stare, as if I couldn't move until the door was completely closed. Just as the door was, just as the door was just about closed, it opened again slightly with a sudden creak, setting my heart racing again, once again. A single eye peered through the narrow slit, and Mion's hawkish gaze peered at me once again.
じゃあねケイちゃん
See you, Kei-chan. Yeah. Wait. Who locked the door? They just left. You were standing still here. They left, and she came back from the other side. Who locked your door?
明日
I'd hate it
学校休ん
if
じゃ
you miss school
嫌だ
tomorrow.
よ
All right. But the door closed. Was able to move a muss after their low laughter died off into the distance, and silence once again enveloped the room. Going back to my senses, the first thing I did was lock the door. They knew what Oishi-san and I talked about? Why? How? No, that wasn't important. Think about it now, all of it could have been overheard from the beginning when Oishi-san met me. Just as Mion said, I couldn't hide anything. Then, what were they trying to tell me? That part was obvious. They were warning me not to say anything unnecessary. What did they deem unnecessary? I only talked with Oishi-san about one thing, and they were warning me that that was unnecessary. What was it that Oishi-san talked to me about? The incidents involving Oshiro-sama's curse that occurred every year weren't individual cases, but were connected as a whole. As well as the fact that there may be multiple perpetrators hidden within Hinamizawa. No, more precisely, that Mion, Rena, Satoko, and Rika-chan were all suspicious. Is that what they were warning me against?
何
What
バ
kind
カ
of
なこと考え
nonsense
て
am
ん
I
だよ
thinking
これ
about? I hit my own face hard enough that it let out a loud slap. If only that would wake me from a nightmare. But for some reason, it felt like I was punching a black... I'm sorry. My skill at speaking just broke. For some reason, it felt like I was punching a blanket. It was almost laughably painless. Calm down, Keiichi Maebara. When did I become such a pessimist? Calm down, calm down. Settle down and sort things out. The reason Mio knew I was eating lunch with Oishi-san was probably because somebody from Hinamizawa just happened to be there at the time. They must have told Mion that I was there. That made the most sense. Plus, come to think of it, she didn't ask me where I ate lunch, did she? She only asked, was it good? They were just curious since I was together with someone not from Hinamizawa. It's not as if they had any ulterior motives. That has to be it. Okay, that's interesting. Can't consider it from this angle. What if, legitimately, they are not going empty-eyed being scary, but the main character is being scared of it because of how it's coming across? What if Mia just asked it normally, so, what did you have for lunch? And he was like creeped out because he read too much into it, like, oh no, they know. And what was asked about next? That goes with someone not from town. That could also have been just like, oh, I heard it was with someone that's not from town. The whole town talks. She could have just been curious. Even the last one, I hope that you'll be here tomorrow, could also just be read in as a normal, not a threat. Better be there, but more of a, I hope you get better. Thinking about it that way, it was the same with Rena. I was just being strangely ambiguous about when I met with Oishi-san, and Rena was just correcting me on that. That's when I was bewildered by the change in character from the more usual mild-mannered Rena. Just startled by it. That's the most natural way of thinking about it. It felt like my mind was mixed up with like a tangled mess of spaghetti. Mom's spaghetti. Deep red marinara sauce would have poured out of my nose and ears if you squeezed my head. Thinking that, I suddenly felt like vomiting. I really didn't want that to happen, so I stopped holding my head. Lately, I had no idea what anyone was saying. Spending time with them was fun. I hadn't felt like there was any sort of an agenda. I really do think they're a good bunch of people. When I just moved here and couldn't make heads or tails of anything, they were really kind to me. Rena was really kind and always looked after me. As long as that strange affliction didn't rear its ugly head, she was pretty cute. Mion is also a really good person. She didn't care about anyone's age or gender and was optimistic and outgoing. I was never bothered when I was with her. And talking of not getting bored, Baksha Sadako was a good person for that too. She was pretty bratty, but that was just the way she interacted with others. Rika-chan was the same way. She didn't speak often, but it didn't mean she was always silent. They were my friends. But after hearing all of the better untold secrets of Hinamizawa, from Oishi-san and Tomitake-san, I was told that Oishara-sama's curse, things started going crazy. Then hearing from Oishara-san, the Mion, Rena, Satako, and Rika-chan were all suspicious. After all, everyone changed. That's right. It all started after getting weird after Oishi-san told me all the strange stuff. At the time, I really should have just not listened to those weird stories. I shouldn't have even asked Tomitake-san about the past incidents on the night of Watarangashi. If I just hadn't gotten that strange sense of curiosity, that's right. So that's why they beeped Tomitake-san. That imputed outsider speaking to the likes of me after everybody went out of their way to keep it a secret from me. They probably killed Oishi-san as well. For trying to unearth what everybody was warning me was better left buried. They probably killed 4 letters. Besides that, he was unforgivable for spewing words that made me doubt the others. Of course, a guy like that is going to be killed. Both Tomitake and Oishi-san were nothing but outsiders after all. They were entities who couldn't coexist with the people of Hinamizawa. Those guys should just fall to Oishio-sama's curse and just die. It wasn't their fault. It was my fault for not being able to hold back my curiosity. It wasn't their fault. 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 Right? Main character is breaking down. I settled into a daze. It was a lethargic feeling that had just gotten up. The ominous chill that haunted me had subsided. Alright. Here's my theory for now. Nothing magical is going on. The main character talked to Oishi. The freaking chilling car got him a cold. And, well, he was already kind of cold, and the chilling car exacerbated that. Which is why he was kind of like sleepy the day of what's it called? That day Oishi came. The talk with Oishi made him paranoid, which made him be kind of dazed. On the way back home, it made him not really see the way Rika was actually telling stuff to him. Rena. And he sounded way too creepily. Then again, later on, still in that kind of daze, kind of sickly, when he got the call. No. I was gonna say he also kind of was overreacting, but no. Rena was standing outside the hallway for an hour. It's very difficult to not read too much into that. If it wasn't for that, I could see him also today being exaggerated. He is kind of sickly. He's feeling all weak and whatnot. He's saying it's just because he's scared, but he might actually be dazed and sick. But no, Rena outside the hallway kind of kills that theory. I was fine for now. I was no longer frightened. I had completely recovered. I'll go to school tomorrow, right as rain. I'll greet everyone. I'll take part in club activities. I'll definitely be fun. It had to be fun. Was one of them after all.
あ、そうだ。
Ah, that reminds me,
おはぎ食
I
べな
need
い
to
と
eat those mochi.
どれがレナの
Hope
手
I'm
作り
able to
か
tell which
当
one
て
Rena
ないとい
made.
けないんだよな。
Remember the homework the two brought with them when they visited me. But wow, our club did the delivery, not something else. Picked up the package and dropped them on the floor, head into the living room. It would be nice, I guess, to have some tea with it. To fill my mouth with mochi while drinking tea. Oh, this is quite a delectable situation I was in. Opening up the newspaper wrapping, there were 5 plump red bean paste mochi fit snugly inside. There were letters written on the left to right with the newspapers A, B, C, D, E. Okay, one of them is like filled with, what's it called? Hot stuff or something like that, as a prank. Now then, I said Rena made one of these. I wonder which one. There wasn't much difference in how they looked. They smelled and appeared about the same. This was a pretty difficult problem. The biggest difference was probably the shape. I wasn't sure what kind of person Mion's grandma was, but Rena had to be different from hers. Looking carefully, I could see one mochi that was made very neatly. So, well, not just by staring at it, one could tell it stood
こ
out.
の一個が
Looks like the challenge
レナ
depends
の
on
か否
whether or
か
not
が
this one is
勝負の
Rena's.
分かれ目みたいだ
Calm
な。
down and think even harder. Mion had said that her grandma made a ton of them and was told to give some out, remember correctly. That meant 4 of these were from a large batch. Then what about Rena? She probably only made one. So she probably spent quite a bit of time on it. Meaning that one Rena made was this one, E. For a moment I thought may have been a trap Mion let out as she knew I'd pick up on it. But that probably wasn't the case. I wouldn't be so sure if I knew Mion had made it, but since she said Rena made it, it probably wasn't a trap.
よし、
Alright,
お茶も準備
my
OK。
tea's ready too.
まずはディフェンディン
I'll
グチャ
start
ン
with
ピオ
the
ンの
defending
ミオの
champ,
ばあちゃんから
Mion's grandmother.
どれ
Let's see. Not bad. Smooth bean paste and soft, chewy texture left little to be desired. The tea I drank afterwards also accentuated the experience. This was quite an exquisite piece of work. Now, how about Renas? The creation was so delicate, one would think it was high-class Japanese dessert. Since I normally had quite the appetite, I was slightly worried about the size of the portion. But well, first a bite. It's quite difficult one to judge, actually. Ingredients were exactly the same as they were, so there were a little difference in flavor. What was different was how it was shaped at the end. So it was to be expected. So the deciding factor would be presentation volume. The well-formed and well-sized champion versus Rena, the challenger. The size you just couldn't get enough of. If I'd only had one bite of Rena's, probably have to wait until after I was done eating to make my decision. Maybe there was something hidden inside that could cause an upset. See, my prediction was right. My tongue touched something. Didn't feel like something edible, so I reached with my finger and grabbed it. What was this? Well, I could fully comprehend what it was. I threw away the rest of the mochi I was eating as fast as I could. Slammed against the wall, causing the beam jam to splatter. Then, after sticking for a moment, I slid down the floor. I was dumbstruck by my own actions. What was I doing? When I had gone out of my way to make it for me, how could I? Dumbstruck, I looked down at the hand that performed such a wild act. Then I remembered what I had taken out of my mouth. First, I thought it was a hair. Even though it was shorter than Mion's, Rena's hair was still quite long. It wasn't this short. It was also a bit too hard to be hair. It was thick enough to roll around on my tongue. There was a bit of a metallic sheen on one end of it. Ah, yes. There was a hole for where a thread goes through. Like a sewing noodle. Sewing noodle? That's right. Looked very much like a sewing noodle. Ah, I'm saying that wrong. So, sew. No? Saw? Sev? For some reason, I cannot pronounce this word. Suing noodle. Exactly like one. The end of was pointed as well, quite sharply. Really did look just like a suing noodle. Huh? What did it mean by look very much like a suing noodle just a bit ago? Good answer. The voice inside me already knew. Let me know by chattering my morals together. I couldn't stave off the terror welled up inside me. Suddenly tasted something metallic and felt a prickled pain in the back of my throat. I stuck my finger in the back of my mouth and felt around to see if I was bleeding. Suddenly I felt an urge to vomit. The sharp taste of bile irritated the back of my throat. Clasped both hands on my mouth. After writhing in agony, I was able to hold back the nausea. I was finally able to breathe normally again, but this time my heart was throbbing intensely. Then it finally registered. Exactly what was mixed into the mochi. Before I could think of the correct word, my hands were already on the move. Splat. Plop. Splot. Tossed the rest of the mochi against the wall. Geometric patterns of scattered bean jam on the wall suddenly invoked a terrible omen in my mind. Why the fuck would you do it against the wall? After looking away, I dashed out the hall and flew upstairs to my room, where I stayed under my covers until morning. Clutching my shoulders, howling madly in mix of fear, anger, and sadness and frustration. This wasn't a threat or warning or reminder, nothing as simple as that. What happened in Himizawa? What is happening in Himizawa? What would happen? I didn't know the answers to any of those questions. Where did I break a taboo? Regardless, now Rena and Mion and others, they considered me an enemy. And they thought I should just die. Won't let you kill me. Not for such a pointless reason. I fell into a restless sleep. I was crushed by my negative emotions. It was as if I was being drawn into a billowing, bottomless swamp. Alright, chapter end. Drug that makes you kill yourself. Right. Probably gonna end it after these two. Bit shorter than the last two streams, I think. But it is 3 chapters like last time. And if the next chapter goes like the first chapter, it's like an hour long. It's gonna be way too long for me. So I'm just gonna read these two and finish it. The drug that makes you commit suicide. Let's cut to the chase. Is there a drug that causes someone to kill themselves? Not directly, no. That's quite a roundabout response. You mean that there's one that does it indirectly? It's possible to induce a suicidal mental state, is what I mean. That's hard to say. What would a suicidal mental state be? Like a person with a serious bipolar disorder. Believe that people are most likely to attempt suicide when swinging from depression to mania. Clinical depression and bipolar disorders are different. Clinical depression indicates a person's prolonged state of depression. A bipolar disorder is characterized by a passive depressed state accompanied by a very active manic state. Individuals with clinical depression suffer from low self-esteem and are quite pessimistic but rarely commit suicide. They don't have the willpower to commit suicide. Nor does mania on its own lead to suicide. That has an opposite effect, filling the person with confidence and making them feel as though they're walking on air. Thus, they do not commit suicide. That's interesting. Neither state causes suicide, but when condition changes, they might do so. There is a desire to commit suicide when in a state of depression. They do not have the willpower to commit such a formidable act. When they enter mania, in a burst of willpower, the body moves as they desire. I see. That means that they gain the willpower to commit suicide. That's how it goes. That's why patients are given sedatives during the time to keep them from acting on their impulses. Then what's Tomitake bipolar? People who suffer bipolar disorder generally commit suicide by more civilized means, like by hanging or jumping off a building. Self-harm, as though as though going to withdrawal is completely different. Tomitaka's death wasn't civilized, so one would think of it as caused by some foreign substance. As I said, from the start, tell me of a drug that causes someone to commit suicide. There are reports that methamphetamine, I know the word, but I can't say it. Methamphetamine. Oh, methamphetamine. Post est. Overdoses produce a condition that resembles bipolar disorder. It is a stimulant. Barbiturate overdoses are also put to cause erratic behavior. That's a sleep aid. There were no signs of stimulants. Are there any other possibilities? All I can think about is a sort of illness. Something like Graves' disease, which affects the thyroids. It is known to cause symptoms that resemble bipolar disorder, but Graves' disease has many characteristic symptoms of its own. The disease exhibited none of them. I was wondering if there was something that could happen more spontaneously, something that fits this case and would cause someone to want to commit suicide all of a sudden. Are you familiar with organic mental disorders? In short, it's a condition where the brain is out of whack due to physical injury or illness. It can be caused by drugs, but it can also be caused by physical trauma, encephalitis, a stroke, or even tumors. Basically, even without a drug, one can succumb to an irregular mental state. Like if he fell down a hill, hit himself a bunch due to that. The deceased was surrounded after being chased, and his life was in danger, right? All that stress could have messed with his brain chemistry. He could have hit his head, and those factors combined could have caused him to mutilate himself. It's a possibility. Could you explain it to me in simpler terms? Blah. Basically, he knocked his noggin in a brawl, and that made him go haywire. Guess this means the assailants didn't have any intent to kill. They smacked him hoping to nick some change, just happened to hit a bad place. Two plump men laughed hoarsely. But of course, it's not like that. Undoubtedly. Whether it was a habitual drug use or something mental, the deceased background holds the key. How's the investigation going? Oh my goodness, look at the time. I need to go get back soon or Kuma-chan will get angry with me. Yeah, good luck. Best wishes. Best wishes. And fret. Those guys just now. They had national diet badges. And it's Prefectural Assembly member Sonozaki and City Councilor Sonozaki. That's interesting. The Prefectural Assembly Manager and City Council are related. It is dirty that it is shouting out each other's name during elections. While one is up for election, the other one holds an assembly and they double up their campaign activities. Blatantly. I don't know much about this stuff, but isn't that against the rules of the election? As long as they have no prior consultations, there are no restrictions on their political activities. Kuma-chan, the second investigation division, is going to be pretty tough for you. You should at least brush up on election law. I'm not cut out to handle with intellectual crime, because I'm dumb. There was a Prefectural Assembly member, Sonozaki, and City Councilor Sonozaki, also the mayor of Hinazawa. So they were all influenced by the Sonozaki family. What crap. Looks like they were seen off by the deputy chief and department chief. It came to me. That night when the department chief invited me along to get some Oden, I thought that was it. You have a lot of connections, so you might have heard something. Have you? Nope, not a thing. Ma'am, I'll take a tofu fritter and fish cake. The council stormed in on the police chief in rage. Oh my, is that so? Ma'am, I'll take another bowl. Prefectural Assembly member Sonozaki and City Councilor Sonozaki were both intimidating. Or snot-nosed career police chief wouldn't handle being yelled at by them. They're like Yakuza. A petition where your name came up regarding how the investigation of the Hinamizawa incident is being handled. Goodness me, I'm not the faintest. No need to play dumb. You're reopening the cases regarding Hinamizawa, aren't you? I've already got my hands full with the Tomitaki death. Nah, really? I hope so for your sake. There was a period of silence. While we were silent, we made headways on our food and drink. Phew, that was quite a feast. This month has been a bunch of losses for me, so Walt was feeling the pinch. Much appreciated. Nah, it's nothing. Tell me a good horse again. I'll bet on the same one as you. Nah, I haven't been doing well there lately. I haven't been able to read the horses at all. Taxi? I'm going by train. The department chief is taking a taxi. I have my own car, but I'd be rash to drive it home. Can blow it right before retirement with a DUI. Even though he could still rattle off, it looked like his legs were already jelly. Pushing him into the cab, I gave the driver the department chief's address. Well, see you again tomorrow. Best wishes. Oishi-san. Yeah. Past incidents have all been closed. Stop lumping them all together. Those will just half believe it's really a curse. Well, I'm not convinced. You're going to be retiring next year, aren't you? Aren't you going to pay off your mortgage, with your severance pay, and move up to Hokkaido with your mom? Mother pines to return to her birthplace. It's the least I can do. And the pensions, well, I'll let me enjoy myself at Susukino. The chief said he may have to consider issuing you special retirement salary raise. Folks' severance payment is calculated based on their monthly salary when they retire. So, a special promotion of 2 pay grades is given before retirement. This is tops up employees' severance pay. That tends to be how it's done around here. Of course, it's not exactly a commendable custom. Incidentally, the difference the 2 pay grades makes to payout is quite significant. I'd expect no less from our egghead chief. Quite a model veiled threat, but, well, considering how our pay comes from the public's hard-earned taxes, it's a way of the times, I suppose. It certainly wasn't a laughing matter, but I'll laugh through it anyway. I don't think it's a model response. But given how hard you worked, it's not at all odd for you to take home such a good package. Personally, I'd like you to get it. If I can get it, well, of course I want it. You'll get it. As long as you're an adult about this. Sorry for holding you up here, driver. Thank you very much. I closed the door roughly, interrupting the department chief's conversation a bit rudely. Looked like he still had something to say. He just smiled wryly and waved. I waved in return. The cab sped up gradually and soon disappeared among the sea of lights. So close suddenly. Oh man. I wonder if I'll be able to repay that loan. Alright, guess we're calling it here. Oh, I forgot to change the music. Alright, next time I guess we're doing an old stream with the music. Sure. Did I forget? Well, I'm gonna need to continue to... Oh, I didn't save. Quick save! Not log. Menu. Where is it? Not here? Settings. Yep, there I changed it. Whoops. Alright. Quick thoughts? I would say that the group is very suspicious. I'm not quite sure I believe anything of the findings from what's it called? The detective. I think he is reading too much into it. Particularly, he seems to have it against Mion's family, which I can understand, and is kind of being biased and connecting it to the group. Now, the group is definitely suspicious, especially considering what Keiichi has seen, and considering all the connections that were listed out. But I am not willing to believe they're doing the murders. I am, however, believed either someone could be basing it on them or that their family could be involved. But we will see. And that is where I'm going to call it. Hopefully... Oh, I can just save here. Nice. Tap, tap, tap. Okay. Gonna call it here. Next time, we go to chapter 9. See you all then.